I am inevitable.
What is going on, people? What is up? Welcome back. This is the final episode of the Roundtable for Ahsoka. Episode 8, The Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord. Danny said thank you, Lord, but you still got Loki to deal with, so here we go. We still ain't done quite yet. But we are going to go around the panel so everybody can talk about their channel. And I'm going to start off first off with Danny Graham talking to people.
You can catch me Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on my channel, The Road to Wisdom, where I do a little show trying to promote positivity and spiritualism. So definitely check that out. Monday, you can catch me on Chaos Central to the guys my left and right, where we do 3 different shows together. This show tonight, of course, and then which is going to progress to Loki season 2. We'll take this time slot next week. And of course, later on tonight, you can see me on Storms Live, and sometimes I pop in on the OOC and the Hangout, which is Guy Squad's channel on Wednesday nights. So I'm a little bit everywhere, but glad to be here.
Mr. Knight.
Well, a lot of what Danny said. Loki Roundtable taking this spot next week. I'm actually 8 o'clock Eastern, but close. But got that. We got the Monday shows. I will be getting back to my Unmasking the Masked Singer shorts because I'm still working on my computer. Yay. Fun. But yeah, we got that. And we'll be getting back to the weekly wrap up and some other stuff here before too long. Just been crazy busy, but glad we're here tonight.
Absolutely. JG.
Yo, catch me Wednesday nights right here with the great Onzo, the great Roberto, and the amazing, the outstanding.
Nope, none of that tonight.
Oh!
Boy, I've never seen so much haterade, boy.
Oh!
The hate is ridiculous right now. The hate is ridiculous.
Serious hate, boy.
I don't know about hate. I wouldn't even call it censorship. I'd call it thoughtful pause.
That's hate. Because if he's been praising Onzo like that, man, he probably had it cut, slice, and dice, had all kind of music behind it and everything.
I would
Man.
them and everything. Go ahead.
Danny, aka the Road to Wisdom Kitchen. Check him out. You also catch me Thursday with my homie Superwise doing the Loki season 2 watch parties and Loki Roundtable next week.
Warren.
All right.
Oh, hi everyone. I am on Twitter. That's it. And there's nothing else. I'm not gonna say if I'm anything else. That's all I got. And I am the amazing, the astounding, the great, ever so.
Oh yeah, cut it. Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
You know how you see Goldberg, then you see the other guy that came out, what they call him, Goofberg or something like that?
Yeah. You see? I
Yeah, you find my Twitter.
but I'm fair. Right? It may be a hater, but I'm fair. So there'll be none of that bullshit going on here. The only great motherfucker on this panel is me. There
Wow.
we go. All right. So, guys, we are going to get into this episode. It is the final episode of Ahsoka. We're going to do our overalls, our positives, our negatives, and our grades, and if we have a prediction for season two. But I'm going to start the other way around because I want to hear what Warren has to say. Warren, what's your overall of this episode?
Overall, the episode, it it felt like an episode. It didn't feel like a finale. I spoke with a friend and I said, this didn't feel like this felt like this is episode 9 and we need episode 10 for the finale. This did not at all for me, at least. It didn't feel like an episode finale for a series. Overall, I thought it was okay. A lot of the stuff that I said was predictable and was going to happen. So I feel like a prophet. I'll talk more when we get into the
Did he just call himself a prophet?
Yes.
The minute he did that, I clicked on Bran, and I'm just waiting for my Phantom Zones here because I know he's gonna say some bullshit tonight. So I got them ready, guys. I got my Phantom Zones ready tonight. All right.
I was in my confidence 50-50 this time because I overall this episode was okay. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was just an okay episode. Even with everything that transpired from beginning to end, I'm sorry, but this was okay for me.
All right, JG.
Yo, this episode felt like a setup for a finale. Like Warren said, it didn't even feel like a finale to me. There was holes in it. It felt like what I would call a Swiss cheese episode. I just wasn't a fan of it. I know me, Brian, and a couple others last week said that this episode may fall flat because there's going to be a lot of stuff that we were hoping would happen, like every show we see in the finale. But there was no real balance to me in this episode. It was all action, I just wasn't a fan of it.
Go ahead, Danny. I know you're gonna say something. No.
Wait, my turn.
All right, Chris.
I'm gonna counter what they said. It felt like there's a season 2 coming. It felt like they actually used some thought and said, "We're not gonna finish this. We have it did what a lot of seasons do. We're gonna create cliffhangers." So Baylan has his cliffhanger. What's her name? His Padawan has her cliffhanger or her movement to now they're going to be separate. Yeah. We know this. So they did what was probably the second best thing they could do from resolving a lot of the things they did. So I think this episode is better than okay, but not quite great.
All right. Danny, your turn, brother.
I'm going to agree with a lot what Chris said. I'm not going to say it's a masterpiece, but they laid a lot of groundwork. And if you are a Star Wars purist enthusiast, not just fan, but I think a purist and enthusiast a little bit more dedicated than a fan. And when I say that and explain that by saying, if you read the books, you go back and do a lot of research, because when I first initially watched it with Anzo, I was like, But then once I did some research and went back and found how things tied together and saw the connective tissue, I'm like, what they did, if you go back and look at it, we got 3 different stories going on with Ahsoka and Sabine, with Baylan, and then Baylan's apprentice. Then we got going back in our universe, I guess the regular universe, Thrawn is going to Dathomir, and we see Arabs are back with Hela, and now I am hypothesizing that Thrawn is going to re-energize or going to the place where those witches are the strongest, so they can finish re-energizing or whatever they're doing to those zombie troopers, or whatever you want to call them. And then he's also going to plot his next plan, and I guess gather all his followers and supporters and stuff. That's one scenario I think is going to happen. and then that's going to finally let this the council that seems to be pretty ignorant that hell has been going off on that one guy see that look, Ezra's back, Thrawn is back. Ezra can tell them everything that happened, and then that was start them developing their strategy to try to deal with Thrawn. So maybe it wasn't climactic, it wasn't a cliffhanger, but they left a lot of things in place to make one that is an enthusiast ponder and like, I really want to see what's going on. So I really want to see what's going on because some of the things I saw in this episode are like, I don't know if I like that. But then, like I said, I researched, talked to people that really read the books, get into it. And a lot of this stuff that they did, and I told Anzo, I think the next day, is that this show isn't for the basic fan. This story, Dave Filoni is putting it for people that read the books, know the mythos, know the lore, and if I think it's for them. And so I'm very interested in learning more about it.
All right. And for me, my overall for this episode, I think I'm gonna have to echo the two clowns on the bottom over here.
Oh, he's breaking ranks, Danny.
I see that, and I'm wondering if he's going to echo. If he's going to be the clowns, Chris, if he's going to be the clowns, what that going to make him?
Clown.
The dark side of it.
If it walks like a clown and you squeak its nose like a clown, it's a clown.
It's a clown.
The smartest one out of the three clowns, then, if you want to put it that way.
Never know that power of the dark side.
Personally, I didn't think it was a horrible episode. I didn't think it was a horrible episode, but I didn't like it. I thought it fell flat. I really did. I thought there was a lot more they could have done, and they didn't. And I think that was disappointing because we had so many threads and so many stuff that, were teased throughout the season, and to get like nothing from it towards the end, I just didn't find it. Yeah, I know we'll get it in other shows, maybe Ahsoka season 2, but they should have given us something. You know what I mean? And for me, it just didn't give us nothing to where I was like, okay. So yeah, hold on. Let me rephrase that because I know someone's gonna be there. Oh well, they showed the brother and sister and all that. Yeah, they did show that, but I kind of think we knew that was what Balin's plan was from the beginning, right? We knew he was going to look for a higher power. We knew it had something to. Ever since the World Between Worlds came in, and you can go back and watch the episodes. Ever since it came in, all we talked about was the brother and the sister, and we talked about the stuff that they showed, right? I even talked about the zombies, right? I said I read an article where they said they were going to actually bring in the zombies. They also said something about Ezra using the Force like we've never seen before, which that didn't come through, but the zombie one did. So I'll say it gave us something, but it didn't give us more than I thought, or enough that I thought it should. That's just me. What were you going to say, Chris?
I was going to say, I think when they said Ezra was going to use the Force like never seen before, I think that they thought that was the whole fight sequence around the armadillo people thing. And while a lot of people said, "Oh my God, we've never seen this before," so many people have called that out. Yeah, many people have called it out, but I think that's what they were talking about.
Darth Vader was the first time we saw it. Well, first time I recall seeing anything like that when he fought Reva with her name, and he was like, "Man, how are you doing that without lightsaber?" So that's the first time I saw something like that.
Yeah, I would have to go back and watch the Clone Wars to see if they did anything like that in there too.
They did not.
No, Mace Windu did in the original anime versions before the CGI ones. He did do it but those aren't. Again, that goes back to that's not technically in canon and all that stuff. So take it with a grain of salt.
What up, Brian? Shout out to the channel. And
we're Brian,
salute, homie.
Hey, Brian, 1/3 of the Spoiler Kings, and I knew you guys were talking. I was like, I had a house showing. I literally waited for them to get out the house, ran right in the basement, and jumped right out because I was like, I know they talked about this last episode. I got so much to say, especially about the whole overall feel of everything. So, yeah.
All right. So, what's your overall thoughts of this episode?
They have a lot of good parts.
Ooh.
A lot of good parts. but when he comes together,
Hey, Anzo,
it's just not a good ending.
The
really
dark
quick.
side triumphs.
never mind. I'm glad he finished his thought because I was going to suggest something, but we're not going to do that
I
now.
wish
Understand,
You wanted
go
to
ahead.
practice zone?
but I want you guys to understand what I'm saying, though. I'm not
the guy.
I'm not negative on this show. Like overall, if I was going to grade this episode, I would give it an 85. But if as a last episode, that's my problem.
It's not a last episode. Well, let's get to that. Let's just get down to it. We got his crappy opinion. That's fine. That's okay. I mean, God, it's fucking.
I agree with you,
I mean, it's
Hold
one.
on.
It's 1/3 crarappy opinions tonight.
Yeah, pull the take last week.
2/3.
He beat us all over the head with this didn't do this and this didn't do that.
And I was right.
Hold on
and
now.
you know what's funny? They
theory
actually started. Think about what they did.
So.
He soon as he came on, Thrawn came on for this episode. He said, "Let's go blow up this damn ship."
Yeah, I
ain't
know,
make,
right?
I ain't make that shit up. That's the first thing he said.
When we were watching it, I was like, "Fuck." You know what I mean? And then they're talking about exactly what Brian said they should do. Yeah, I noticed that part right away. But
exactly what he did immediately. So that's why I was like, "Come on, man." You know, they have a lot of good parts to this thing.
At least you did it, right?
And they didn't do nothing because the stormtroopers can't shoot. Even
but
Thrawn could never shoot.
Thrawn was better this episode than I saw for episode 7. I just feel like as a show, when you have all these loose strings, it's hard to wrap all of it up. And that's just what happened. They really just took a pass on Shin and Baylan. They just said, all right, we can't do it. You know, and that's just what it is. And that affects my overall thought on a series finale.
I think that was intentional. It was intentional.
Yeah, like so what they're doing, they're setting up stuff. They're setting up movies, they're setting up the acolytes, they're setting up all that stuff. But if I'm grading just a series, just the episode, the season finale, that's gotta go part of it, right?
But you can't grade them as hard if the person intentionally did something that you don't agree with versus, oh, I forgot about that. I don't think Filoni. I mean, I don't think Filoni forgot. I think he is doing it exactly what he meant to do, and I think he's doing this particular series from a viewpoint of someone who is a student of Star Wars, not just a casual. This show is not for casual fans.
Danny, you are 100% correct. 100% correct. But understand, if I'm going to compare them to everything else that's being put out as a season finale, just as in anything, you're supposed to wrap up something, and everything was kind of left unfinished.
Wrap up something.
And
no,
you know what's funny?
Only difference is that Ezra made it home.
What's
everything else
wrapping
is
up
open
and
up,
setting up. It's the same thing. This
is
the same. This is
the setup. Is not. Baylan didn't say nothing. Baylan just pointed, and they're like, "That's in the story for Baylan."
This is very similar to the end of Infinity War going into Endgame. It just didn't have
no.
It didn't have the. Listen, let me finish. It didn't have the oomph. It didn't have the. Oh my God! What? But the bad guy won. He pretty much told everybody what I'm going to do, and he did it. That's what Thrawn did.
It's totally different. There was a finality to it.
Okay. You see, here's the thing, though, right? And like I said, okay. So we already knew that Baylan was looking for if they were gonna do something, they needed to give us something to say. Oh shit! Not just showing us the statues of the brother and sister.
But I didn't know. Baylan was nobody knew Baylan was looking for them, because that
I've been saying it for 3 episodes.
That meeting that Ahsoka, Anakin, and Kenobi, that was not in this universe. So how did they get there?
What do you mean?
That wasn't in this universe.
What wasn't in the universe?
What do you mean?
No, so you understand that the father. Originally the father went to another. All this stuff happened because the father went to another planet. And we didn't know what planet he went to. You know what he took everyone. All this stuff actually happened in the universe, but he went to another planet. Yeah, that's part of the story.
It's not another universe. It's the same. It's the same universe. It's a different galaxy planet,
it's a different galaxy.
But it's tied to all. Yeah, it's still tied to all of that stuff. It is. I understand that. I'll wait to say my stuff though
I
until.
just think they needed to give us a little bit more, right? To something to say like, holy shit, okay, now I'm excited, right? But what they did is just confirm the stuff that we've been talking about for like 3 episodes.
Yep.
That was my problem with it. You know what I mean? It's
I
like,
think they did more.
They didn't really do much.
I do.
But and then
I
we'll
think
get into
they
other
set
stuff.
up that movie and they set up the acolytes. So acolytes are going to look at what happened at the formation of these mountains and all this stuff that we saw, the father, the sister, and the brother, and we're going to see, you know, Aboleth and all that stuff. That we're going to see Abeloth, and we're going to see all that stuff. And I think in the acolytes, I think he set up a lot of different things. The problem with that is, or when you're talking about one series, the thing that's supposed to save Star Wars, this is what Ahsoka was going to do: save Star Wars. It had no finality to it. You know, though I enjoy the episode, it's just not a finale. It's not a final episode of how it's supposed to feel.
Oh,
Like,
But wait, time out. Here's the problem with that statement. I've watched tons of serial television or that did not have one season. And when they finish off, I mean, and almost think of it, and I hate using this, but almost think of it like a soap opera. Every commercial break is like a zoom in on somebody with like ominous music of, oh, what's going on, what's going to happen next, and it's like a cliffhanger for the 5 minutes you're waiting for the commercial to go by. This is more like a real serial, or like more like regular television, where they're like, we're not done with this show, so we're not going to finalize anything necessarily, but they did some very key things that you do to set up things. And yes, some of it might be in the movie, some of it might be in the acolyte, but I believe a lot of this is going to go more back into another season of Ahsoka, or you're going to get these movies, you're going to get another series or two, and then Ahsoka will come back and finalize what we have gone to. But
you are absolutely right, Chris. You're right. But it's just that the final didn't give us that.
It's not,
you know what I mean?
A finale in a TV show does not necessarily mean it closes anything, unless it is a series finale. And so therefore, they did exactly what they needed to do. And when we get to my likes, I will explain exactly what I mean.
Yeah, Warren, go ahead, and then we'll do our likes. Go ahead,
Warren. Say something quick, because you said you watch. I know you watch a lot of shows, Chris. But I watched House of the Dragon, right? I don't know who did, and that finale felt like a finale where it literally left. It was a cliffhanger. We know that people are going to be pissed off, etc., etc. I didn't get that same feel. I know there's a House of the Dragon season 2, but I don't know.
I don't know if that's the necessary need. I don't know if that's needed though.
I'm not saying it's a need, but there was things that could have been. We know that there's more to come, right? Because they said 8 episodes, so we already know it's not finishing.
Okay.
However, you could answer if there's 10 questions, answer 5 of them.
Yeah,
that's all. That's all we're saying.
Exactly. Have some setup and then answer something in one part. Give us something, and then they didn't give us really any.
I think this setup was more cerebral than the House of Dragon. I agree with what Warren said. House of Dragon was awesome, but I think it was a more emotionally driven show than this. I think Dave Filoni may have gotten his way a little bit. He took out a lot of the emotion. It was more cerebral about it. But I still think that it set up some things. Well, for me, I can't speak for anybody else on the panel. I'm very, very interested. I told Alonzo this. I'm more interested in what's going to be next with Ahsoka than I am with this Loki. The first episode of Loki did not really impress me too much. And it was the first thing I ever saw to hook me. I'm not hooked. I'm hooked. I am invested in the Ahsoka 2 now because I see 5 different things right now that I'm interested in. I want to see what Thrawn's going to do on Dathomir. I want to see how Hera and Ezra are going to put their plans together. I want to see that skeleton crew they're talking about, the Hex or whatever his name is, going to try and go back and rescue Ahsoka and Sabine. I'm interested to see what Balin's going to do, and I'm also interested in seeing what his pupil's going to do. The girl said several things that got me invested in. Like, I want to see this.
I think you're including a premiere and a finale. Like, you can't really compare the premiere and the finale.
Hold on, let me say this.
I don't think so.
Dandelion said there's a difference between the finale with a cliffhanger and a finale with a hook. 100%.
Exactly.
People are saying this show ended in a cliffhanger. No, it ended in a hook. It did not end in a cliffhanger. It did not. And
okay.
I
get
like
that.
But the problem is, like, I feel like we're fighting, but I like this show. I like everything they've done. I just, when you do an ending, when you do a finale, you have to have something final going on. It doesn't have to be
not necessarily.
You need to get
it can move forward.
Attack on a Titan, you don't want to have 2 years in between season 6. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like season 3, this is what happens on Attack on Titan. The same problem. You can't do those things because you lose people.
I think they've got new problems. But again, I'll wait.
All right, so we'll go into our positives real quick. We're going to go the other way around. Mr. Graham, your positives for this episode, sir.
Like I just said earlier, I'm positively interested in seeing what's going to go next. Having seen the statues of the son and the father and the daughter's head off, and knowing what I know, I think I've heard somebody say, another YouTuber, that they feel bad for the fans of Rebels. I don't. I think that you have to truly appreciate this show. You have to go back and watch Rebels, because this is a continuation of Rebels. If you don't watch that, you're going to lose something in the translation. I don't care what you say. You can agree or disagree, but I'm telling you, you will lose something in transition. You will not develop a love for these characters and be invested in them without watching Rebels. If you're just a casual fan, this is something you watch for the first time. I see all the numbers and saying how this didn't do well. I think that's just Disney hate. Because this show was not bad. And we saw a video last week where pretty much George Lucas was on the set with Filoni, and he pretty much told Filoni, he gave his blessings about the Ahsoka episode last season. And I think he's all on board with what Dave is doing. I think Dave is constantly picking his brain, and I think, and I could be wrong, and I'm going to actively look for this, George Lucas is blessing this. So I wish I could find that video where he says, yes, I'm good with what he's saying, and then shut some of these people up. Because I keep hearing Dave Filoni's a hack. He's this. He can't do this. I don't think he's a hack. Yeah. I think he knows what he's doing. I think he is really tapping into the fans that read the books, that know the lore, and he's not doing it for a casual fan. And we've gotten spoiled as fans from all this now, action, gotta go fast pace. Sometimes it's good to slow things down. Now I will say, in the other thing, the other slow one that me and Anzo don't like, no, that's a bit too slow. But this pace right here, Andor, is just not for me. Well, I'm not going to sit and criticize it continuously and call it whatever. But this right here, this ending, I'll agree with Dan Lyon said. It got me hooked. I am really invested, and I'm ready to see what's going on. I like the pacing episode. I definitely like Balin. I like the fight scene that they did. I think that one of the better fight scenes that we've seen between her and the lady. I knew Thrawn was gonna set her up when they was giving her them powers. I was like, yeah, she ain't gonna make it. She's not gonna make it. And he gave her that sword and stuff. Dislikes, I got some dislikes, and I already know what it is, but for the most part, the way they shot it, the fight scene, I even like the way that she activated her force powers. Because
you do?
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. I didn't like. I like the way, because most times when we see mutants or we see people with powers, how do they get it? When they're highly stressed off and they're in danger, they fight for their life, which was the same position she was in.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch X-Men,
you don't go from grabbing a lightsaber to pushing Ezra off a damn cliff, learning how to do that.
Not to mention that cheap and
Let me finish. Then you guys can go.
You didn't let me finish. I said I like the way she activated the power. You heard me say nothing else. And I think we got a second portion that say dislikes. If you watch, Anzo and I discussed this, and I said I like one and not the other. but you're not letting me finish. But the way she got it, because would you have rather for her to get it that way under distress, fighting for her life, or go ahead and grab that cup and push it across? If she'd have grabbed the cup and pushed it across 4 or 5 episodes ago, I'd be like, nah, that's bull crap. But she was fighting for her life. She needed something, and the way that she grabbed that lightsaber in that particular scene, I don't have a problem with it. Other scenes, I do have a problem with. But other than that,
I personally didn't want her to get. I personally didn't want her to get force powers at all.
But if she had to get it, at least that's a way that we all can digest it better. Not just Millicronian today, and I can grab this cup from way across there. No, that's bullshit.
I think the whole.
I agree. Go ahead, Chris.
I feel the whole way that the force push you guys are talking about, you're giving her too much credit and taking credit away from Ezra. I think that's more Ezra than her.
How? He was done. He was falling, and she pushed him across. I watched it 3 times. I watched it 3 times.
I don't think. How the hell did she figure out to do that shit? I don't think she did as much as you think. But that's my opinion. I think she whatever.
Whatever. Free falling. You got to concentrate. Push back up. All right. Through the ship.
Okay. Good job.
I feel the dark side fuming through everyone.
Go ahead, Chris. You're positive.
All right. First, let me say this about the setups, the hooks, the cliffhanger, whatever you want to say. They did some key things here. So this is very much like Rebel Season 4. That's basically what this is. It's very heavily steeped in Rebels. Danny's completely correct that you have to have seen Rebels. You have to know what's going on in that. You have to know some of the stuff from the books. But the thing is they did something that has been done lots of times, but when it's done effectively like this, it's very good. And that is you've now flip-flopped the whole premise of what started this thing, which was we want to get Ezra back. We need to stop Thrawn. And basically what they did is they flip-flopped themselves. Now they're where they were. They're back. And it now creates a whole new dynamic that the person who is after Thrawn is now not there. And the person who is going to personally stop Thrawn is now not there. So now the new Republic has to figure out how to combat Thrawn. And they aren't prepared for that. It creates a whole new dynamic now. And I think that's what's one of the most important things they did with this. I think that the fight scenes were pretty good. There were moments I'm like, nah. I mean, I don't disagree that the whole pushing him and all that I mean, even any Jedi, because even Ezra, I don't think he didn't get the full complement of Jedi training. The reason why I think Luke got to where he was because he learned from Obi-Wan and he learned from Yoda. And he also has it in his family from Anakin, Vader, what do you want to say? So there's lineage there. I don't think I don't think Ezra quite falls into that. So I think one of you guys said something about when he was doing the force pushing and some other stuff that he seemed a little overpowering. And I totally agree that I think they gave him a little too much. Because when they were trying to hold the ship up, I think that's a good example of why the Jedi aren't what they used to be. Because both him and Ahsoka were struggling. They were struggling to keep that ship up. And, I think that was important to show that. But
they should be even stronger now. Because I've always had the reason why I say that because let's say the force is a battery. And the light side is one side of the battery, the dark side is one side. The reason the Sith was so strong because there's only 2 of them at one time, so you have a lot more power.
You can draw more.
Tapping into it, and you got to split that power, kind of like how the Shazam did.
But that's
But you see that there's a problem with that, though, right? That could be possible. but we have metachlorians, which totally takes away that because
Yeah, that was
your
Exactly.
metachlorian count
They only
is
they
what
only
makes
mentioned that
it
metachlorians
powerful.
in that one movie. That you never heard that
And it
anywhere else.
ruined it. And it ruined it for everything else. It is the answer to everything now. It
Not
explains
mine.
everything. Well, no, but they put it there, and now it's in the minds, and that's how it is. But no, that your theory, I understand it, Danny, but I don't think it's correct because the difference why Sith draw so much is they aren't afraid to draw from all parts of the Force, dark and light. They will take whatever, and that's why the rule of two only works for them is because they literally. I mean, the whole time the rule of two, that doesn't even work because the apprentice is always looking to knock off the master.
It's all about more power.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why they get to where they are. Jedi and the way that they're trained is still not about that. It's using it. I mean, it's almost like karate. It's defense. It's not. I mean, and what's funny is we are seeing a lot more in this, a lot more emotion behind the fights. Because if you watch Ahsoka, there's some hate there when she's fighting. She's got some rage in her. But like I said, the fights were mostly okay. I like the flip-flopping. I like that Thrawn did make it back, but I do like that Ezra's there because it keeps them together. It keeps Sabine and Ahsoka together. We got a lot of that stuff going. It's really important that Baylan left his apprentice, and she also has decided to leave. She made the choice not to go and find him. She rode to the Marauders. So I think that was really important. I'm not sure exactly what that's going to set up for a movie, the Acolyte or anything like that. I'm not really sure what that will set up, but I'm sure they can work with it. So, but I think it was really important how they did it. I don't think you need that flash and shock and awe with this.
Go ahead. See, I hear what you're saying, but even we predicted last week that someone was going to be stuck in that galaxy. We predicted all of that, right?
Yes.
Now,
but
it doesn't mean. Hold on, let me finish. It doesn't mean that it was bad or anything. It's just like we should have got a little bit more. That's what I'm saying. It's like you should have given us just a little bit more. That's the problem that I had with this as a finale for a season finale, you know? But Brian, your positives.
I will start the title. The Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord.
That's part of my
coming back. That's C.S. Lewis, exactly. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It's the beginning of a journey. It's so important. It's actually brilliant. It's a brilliant title, especially for what you're going to do. I liked so much stuff from the beginning. I love that Thrawn did exactly what I said he should have been doing. Exactly what was going on. I love the fact that Thrawn never underestimated the Jedi. Thrawn knew every single time. It was like, hey, it's almost impossible for them to get here, so let's expect them to be here in the next 15 minutes. It was like always that. He always set that stuff up. I love seeing the zombies, basically. That's basically what they end up being. The knights end up being zombies coming back, and that was really cool. Their reaction. I think their lightsaber battles were a little sloppy, but but I know it's a TV show, so you can't get the expertise, but it was a little sloppy. I mean, you could see what's going on. People were getting hit and then falling down later. Like it wasn't like great. It wasn't perfect, but they had important things. I love what I saw with Baylan. I love seeing it. I wish I got a little bit more. Same thing with Shin. I thought the decision was good, but give me a little bit more of the story. Don't give me 5 seconds for a character that I cared about for eight episodes. So like, but it was good. Everything about this stuff was good. Thrawn winning was good. Ezra getting there and being quiet and just let me go on a ride and getting it back over to the way he needs to go was good. All of that was good. I have no problem with the episode. So I enjoyed multiple parts of it. Like really, really was a thoughtful, good episode. Just not finale for me. So that's what I got.
I got you. JG.
Brian always stealing my talking points every time he goes before me. I'm sick of it. So echoing everything Brian said, so I have to repeat it. The fight scenes, yes, it was choreographed. It was kind of sluggish and slow, but Ezra, seeing him fight, I loved it. The little acrobatic stuff he was doing, spinning around, it was good.
Oh, I'm sorry. What that when he gave Ezra that piece to finalize his lightsaber? Oh my!
Yeah.
His
I
cadence.
loved it, but I have a
was
negative about
so
it. But I love it.
Mhm.
I have a negative about it, but I did like it. It was cool. What's it called? Thrawn. Seeing him play chess and not checkers, I loved it.
Yes.
You know, again, echoing everything Brian, all my talking points I had. You know, telling Morgan like, hey, you got to be sacrificed.
Was
Like,
so
hey,
cool.
it was so cool. And you could tell she was like,
And the
you
look
was
on
her.
her face, like when she realized, she knew. You know what
She
I
was like,
mean? And
Man,
yeah.
I'm telling you, when they give her them powers, I said, man, she dead.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, of
for
course.
real.
Of course.
For real.
Did you see the Night Sisters when Thrawn said, "Hey, destroy the temple"? Did you see the look on their faces?
Yeah.
They're like,
Mhm.
"This motherfucker, what?"
Yeah.
Yeah, you see Thrawn don't give a damn. He's like, hey, for my victory, I'm willing to sacrifice all of you if I have to. And then he's
Mhm.
playing chess. I love that. That was brilliant.
I'm just trying to figure out why there's so much Lord in him, because it's clearly got more power than he has. I don't understand that.
It must be some sort of deal he has with them, right?
Mhm.
Because he kept talking about the crates and the stuff that he was giving them. So he was giving them something, whatever that is, probably the dead troopers. So when maybe so they could take back their planet or take over their planet or whatever. But he was giving them something, and that's what they were doing for him. So I think it was a deal. I don't think it was just like, oh, we're gonna blindly follow him. I think there was some sort of deal he made with them.
You know, anytime a witches make a deal, you know, it's like a binding thing where they can't go back on. So I agree well. So that's probably what ended up happening. The fight between Ahsoka and Morgan, probably the best one-on-one duel we've seen this whole season. And we see why Morgan, even the actress that plays her, is good at her craft. Because you can tell they studied, trained for hours doing that. She kind of held back a little bit, you know, because I saw that a little bit, but yeah, it was good. There were a lot of Easter eggs in this episode that, like Danny was saying earlier, that you can kind of branch out with the other series of movies coming out, which I thought were good. But like Brian said, like it wasn't a bad episode, but for a finale, I kind of felt like it was something a lot was missing. Like they could have done more with it. But other than that, yeah, that's for now. That's all the good things I can think about for now.
I got you, Warren.
Well, I did like Thrawn acknowledging Ahsoka that he knows the master, and that he can definitely see that that's the greatest threat by putting her there in Peridea. That was the biggest checkmate of the episode. The confirmation that they're zombies, I'm sorry, but I like to have confirmation, because seeing that skull face kind of hanging the Death Troopers thing was nice. And that was not a bad fight sequence. I can see why, because I remember they showed the Death Troopers before in something else, and I remember they're kind of like a elite force, so that was good to see. Another pro is, I know we only got 10 seconds of Balin, but I have to
10 seconds.
I have to say, Balin Skoll has to be by far the best new character ever introduced to Star Wars.
Oh my Lord, y'all are licking his.
I think he's the most intriguing.
Yeah, I don't know if he's better than Ahsoka. I don't know if he's better than Ezra.
He's a new character that.
If you're talking Disney Star Wars,
yeah,
sure,
yes,
okay,
yes, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, so. And again, we're not. I think they're probably gonna have to recast him because, surprise, surprise! I told you he wasn't gonna die. but don't believe me. But okay.
Ooh,
He's gonna
Dallas is getting their ass kicked. Yes.
14 nothing. Let's go,
Cocaine
Danny.
is a hell of a drug.
Danny coming in with the dark side.
Other than that, I have more cons, of course, because there's a lot of cons.
We are really shocked because you got more cons.
overall, I'm excited. I think Filoni should just hand the reins to Filoni. He knows what he's doing. That's my overall pros.
This panel.
Can I say? Go ahead.
Hold on, Danny first, then go Chris. Danny.
I just wonder why this panel sounds so much different than the other panel. I don't understand how you can look at one thing and most people on the panel love it, and then you look at other channels and I mean they can't find nothing good about it. I don't understand.
We just talked for 15 minutes about how being good things we saw. What are you talking about, Danny?
No, that's not what he said. No. He's saying that's why can we see
I'm
and
saying
other panels can't.
Panel there, Mr. Grizzly, all 6 of us, we like the show. You go to other channels, and they see the same thing and can't find one good thing to say about it. I don't understand.
It's the hate. People
hate
Star Wars. Star Wars fans are the worst things for Star Wars. Like that's literally what it is.
Some of these are ridiculous. I just listened to my Twitter, and it goes on. It started at 6 o'clock this morning, and it goes all day long.
If you look at the other videos, they hate on everything else with Star Wars too. So it's having agenda just to hate it.
Dave Filoni's a hack. He stabbed George Lucas in the back.
He was handpicked by George Lucas.
And there's videos that showing George Lucas sitting there with him, pretty much giving him the green light.
He did. He taught him everything. Yes. And George Lucas said, I taught him everything. Like, what?
I think that, and George Lucas won't do this currently, but if Filoni were to get the reins to Star Wars, I think George Lucas would actively have his name on stuff again and actively rally behind Filoni. And then I'd be really surprised to hear what all of these other people would say.
They found some way to hate it.
They'll say he's not the same. They'll say George Lucas is not the same as he used to be.
He lost his vision. He lost this. He lost it.
I forgot to mention one thing.
Go ahead. Let me just say this. You can't tell me that Dave Filoni, who idolizes George Lucas, is not asking George Lucas's opinions on some of the fucking stuff he did in the show.
No, he is.
Of course he is. 100%. But people act like, and it's funny because it's coming from people who don't fucking know George Lucas.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Like,
no, it's coming from
creators know George Lucas, but they seem to know that he's being stabbed in the back and this is not what he wants and he hates everything that they're doing. I'm like, really?
And it's coming from some people that haven't even watched, let alone read the books.
Facts.
But haven't watched any of the stuff to fall back on and just making assumptions in these echo chambers really drives me crazy. I really have to turn it off before I turn green. And I'm like, it's crazy.
Facts, 100%. So my positives will be a little bit less because again, as the episode I said was decent, only really positives that I can say is Thrawn's plan was amazing, right? And I tell you, when he said he's gonna blow up the ship, I said, you see, Danny, this fucking just confirmed what Brian said last week. I was like, fucking bullshit, right? Now, the fact, that's in my negative, so I won't get into that. But
you see, one quick thing I want to say.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
If he didn't do that, then Brian would have a point. But what Brian did, he didn't get enough time. He didn't get the story enough time to do it.
But I'm rating an episode, right? So no, I'm not as an entity. If you're talking about from 7 to 8, that's different. But when I'm really rating an episode, I can say what I don't like for that episode, and I was right. And as soon as it came on, he agreed with me. Thrawn was like, "Yeah, go blow up that shit." He agreed.
What I'm saying, your point would have been stronger if he hadn't done that.
No, then I would have been pissed. I was hoping that he would still do it because it made sense.
You didn't get a pot enough time to cook.
Oh,
But it's still in the episode. The episode's over, so I'm going to rate the episode, not just say, "Well, let me hold on." No, I'm just going to rate the episode for what it is.
I just have one quick thing I forgot to mention. I like the fact that the troopers, whatever you want to call them, that they do. I can see how they're going to be a really good threat, because if they just keep coming back up, you're just going to get tired and depth and overwhelmed.
But here is the time. You see, that's the problem, and that's going to get into my negatives. That's the problem that I have with it. But we'll get into that when we get to the negatives, because I'm going to go first on it. Go ahead, Danny.
It got to be the night sisters are tied into it. They got to be in a certain vicinity or something, because like when they left, like they lost their power or something. I don't know if that thing got a range. You know, like some things have a range, and just like with the robots, you know, if you kill the centralized computer, whatever, then it kill all of them. So I don't know if it's going to be that effect or not. I don't know. Maybe when they go on Dathomir, I think Dathomir where they're strongest at. So I think the ones they take
maybe from there,
them suckers gonna be problematic.
Yeah, maybe from there where their power is the most, they'll have a wider range of where they can control the zombies around the galaxy, right?
I agree with that.
So, so as other positives that I have was some things in the lightsaber battle was good, right? I really enjoyed the way Ahsoka killed Morgan. That was fire. You know what I mean? With her own sword, she did not move, cut her in half, cut her chest open. Oh, okay, that was fire. Other than that, it was just a regular show. But those are most of the things that I like. Some of the things you guys said. But we're gonna get into the negatives, and I'm gonna go first because I got a rant on this one. The fucking zombies. I am sorry. I felt like I'm okay.
Rip off.
It sounded cool, right? Because we talked about this a few episodes ago. It sounded cool. I think the execution was really bad because you have these zombies, right? They come up, they look good, but they get a blaster shot and a lightsaber battle, and they fucking die. I'm like, no, like. I ain't saying you gotta cut off their heads or anything, but at the same time, why the fuck have them turn into zombies where they're already dead, and then a lightsaber kills them again, which is the original thing that killed them the first time? It made no sense to me, right? I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, and some of the choreography with the zombies, the way they were walking, and they started doing the Walking Dead style, I was like, okay, that's a little bit too far. You know what I mean? That was a huge issue for me. Sabine, I just did not want her to get the Force. And you know what? It's funny because I think we called it from the cup. Like we said, she's going to do something later on where she's going to get the Force. And sure enough, she got it. And now I heard, and I haven't checked it out, but I heard now on IDMB or whatever, they have her as a Jedi. Okay, whatever. You know what I mean? The problem I have with this is because they are pretty much confirming that anybody can use the Force. Now, we have a clip, and I used it too, where George Lucas says, yes, the Force is in everybody, but like Chris has mentioned many times, the minute you bring in the midichlorians, that changes that, because the Force may be in you, but you may not have enough midichlorians to use it, right? So that's an issue for me, and I think her pushing Ezra up and helping him get on the ship, I was just like, okay, that's just I didn't like it. I couldn't take it. I was like, no. I wanted her to, and it's not because of what I wanted, but I just thought it would have been better if she had realized, listen, I'm not a Force user. I'm going to go back to be a Mandalorian. I'd be better there because now you have Ezra back, so you don't really need her to be a Jedi, right? A lot of people thought Ezra was going to die. If Ezra had died and you wanted to do that, okay, I get it. Still wouldn't like it, but you know what I mean? But the fact that Ezra's there now, I think it's better for her to be that Mandalorian in the group that she was from from Rebels.
I have a question for you, Anzo.
Yeah, go ahead.
We know that Kathleen Kennedy has final say on stuff. How much of that was Kathleen Kennedy said no, she needs to be a Force user?
I think, you know what? I don't know, and I'm not gonna want to blame her because it looks to me like Filoni got to do the stuff that he wanted to do.
Yep.
right? Now,
Okay.
there is a possibility that she had did that and said, you know what, we gotta make her force use. There is a possibility,
Ooh,
but I
ooh.
think Dave Filoni got to do what he wanted to do in this series. So I don't know how big of an influence she had on it, but I do believe she had some to do with it, right? Because female-led Star Wars, that's down her alley. You know what I mean? And again, if she gives him little notes, he has to follow them regardless. Yeah, I'm doing my story, but no, we can just make her a Jedi, and you know what I mean? Because it seems like everybody now is going to be a Jedi, and I'm just like, I have an issue with that. Other than that,
They were the sorry. They were
yeah,
the
but no, go ahead.
rarest thing. They were the rarest
Right.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're like growing on the trees again.
Exactly, 100%. You know, and I don't have a problem with them bringing back the Jedi Order or bringing back Jedis or having a bunch of Jedis. But I think the way they're doing it is just like, oh yeah, you're in the universe. Okay, let's make you a Jedi now. You were a Jedi. You weren't a Jedi before, but let's make you a Jedi now, right? No, I want to see them find like you can have them. Luke looking for younglings who have the power, who have the Force. I'm going to train you guys, right, to use your power and be this and that. I think that's the route they should have went instead of just saying anybody can use the Force. But that's just my opinion. Those are my negatives. Danny, your negatives?
I definitely didn't like the fact that once she got, God doggone Dallas, once she got the power, she like pushed him up because he was not going to make that jump. I did not like that. I did not like the zombies, how they look, how they sounded. I'm like, this is Thriller and The Walking Dead at the same time. I don't like that. And I know, but I went back and researched it, and somebody said, yeah, now what Dave Filoni did, he took a page out of John Favreau and Kevin Feige. He cherry picked because in the actual book, it's a disease or some kind of virus that changes into that. And here is that magic. So you gotta give him you gotta give him something for efforts in the
100%,
originality.
Danny. Thank God he didn't use the virus because that would have been Walking fucking Dead. That if he didn't use the virus, that would have been the Walking Dead right there. You know what I mean? So good thing he didn't do it that way. Yeah,
So I don't have a problem with that. It was original, and I've said it, and I'm going to continue to say it. We don't want to see everything that's exactly in these comic books and in some of the source material and some of the books. But if they want to change up to make it more interesting or make it more entertaining, I don't have a problem with that as long as it's good. I'm not a fan of zombies. That's probably why I'm leaning towards not liking it. And to me, it's just not Star Wars. But that and I've always been. I don't like to see the bad guy win. So
I do.
When Thrawn came back over there, and then they're going to Dathomir, and then Ahsoka them got stuck there. I didn't really care for that. I really didn't like the fact that if we could at least heard a voice or something. What I would have liked to heard with Balin is the son maybe whispering to him and saying something and making the same offer. I think he's gonna make him the same offer that he offered Anakin. That's what I think he's gonna do for Balin, because I don't think the son is truly dead. He's put his spirit or something, essence is somewhere on there, and I think Balin's gonna tap into that. Then, because the actor in real life has died, they're gonna make him something else, or they can recast him to look like something else or a different form or whatever. So I think that's how they're gonna do that. But yeah, didn't like the Sabine thing. Didn't like the fact that Thrawn won this round. I want to be kind of equal, and if I'm truth be told, I want the good guys to be a step ahead. But other than that, those are my dislikes.
Got you. I love when the bad guy wins. Fuck that. We've watched way too many movies where the good guy always wins. So when they do the bad guy wins, I love it. Chris, you're up.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I don't mind that Thrawn. I don't mind that because it happens. I mean, Thanos won. I mean, Thanos did exactly what he said he was going to do. There's nothing wrong with it, and it's always good to have the good guys or the other side lose, because then at least lets you know there's some stakes. There's some stakes in this right now. You know, I think that Ahsoka seems to be somewhat calm about the situation, because she obviously has a feeling that because Ezra's back, that perhaps he has a grasp on the situation, or she's just glad he's back and that she thinks we're going to figure it out, or he's going to help them figure out how to come and get us. But the biggest problem I have, and I don't disagree with what Danny said, that you know, they're going to make Baylan, or not. Who said that they're going to make Baylan look like something else? Was that you, Danny?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. I don't disagree with that, but again, going back to the point of what some of you guys have said about having to have some finality or something finalized, this impresses the reason why sometimes some bit of finality is necessary, because now you don't have him. Do you use a body double to watch him walking from, you know, film him from the back, and then have him walk into something that, as Danny says, makes him look like something else? Or does the spirit of one of the aforementioned people come and take over him? There's a lot of things there that they can do, but now it's more out of necessity to do that, and maybe there was some bit of lead up to that happening that we didn't get, and now that's always going to be a question: is did we miss out on Baylan's story because now he's dead? Was there more planned for him? And I that is, and again, that's not necessarily their fault. Nobody knew he was going to die. But that's why you get these things taken care of. But that's my biggest dislike. Yes, the force push is a little much, but then again, I always call a plot device. It's a plot device. We had to get Ezra on the ship.
I'll agree with that. It was a plot device.
Therefore, how do we do it? Well, he can jump, great, but he's not going to make it. Okay, then, well, let's just have her use her limited power to push, and he's going to have enough that between the two, we get there. The whole, I don't know, there is some need for something to have been finalized. I don't disagree with that. I don't need it so much, but it feels better. It just feels better when you get an answer or two. We're still kind of at a point where, well, Thrawn's back now, but he hasn't started anything. We have pieces. We have, you know, and we've seen, I don't know. I see this as being a really good chance for Filoni to hit a home run with several things. But then again, I also kind of know where Filoni had hands in Bad Batch, and it had plenty of places it could have gone, and it just didn't go there. Mm-hmm. So I'll reserve my reservations, because I trust with the way this one went that these things will be fixed, or not fixed, but answered. But it does always feel better to have some finality, but I didn't need it, if that makes sense.
No, I got you. Brian,
okay.
Negative. Let's hear it, brother.
All right. So in the finale, like when you really look up, when you're looking at what a finale is supposed to do, you're supposed to have a story's climax, right? And within it, you have some type of wrap up of something, even if it does end on a cliffhanger. You have something that goes with the story that ends the story arc, because that's the point of having a series, is to have a story arc that ends, and we have a new one that comes out that you also should have in your finale that goes on to the next thing. And my biggest problem is that you didn't do any of the jobs of finale. That's just in film class, the definition of film in film class. That's my biggest issue.
No. I don't know. I don't know.
Let me finish
I
talking.
don't know. No. Okay, finish it. Let me hear you gonna finish it.
Understand. That's why I said in episode 7, I knew what was like. You could see what's going on, and that's because to my next problem. The plot was very like I knew exactly what was going on. It was very like predictable. I knew what was going to happen. Everything that I predicted, like we know this is going to have to happen. Thrawn's going to do this. Was kind of very predictable. It wasn't like anything new. So if you're going to have something that's anticlimactic or anything like, it shouldn't be a predictable story. Exactly what you're going to have, and then giving 1 or 2 minutes on two of the most important characters is not great. Of course, I don't like a lot of the Sabine stuff because I always thought the Sabine was going to end up being going back to being a Mandalorian and have that actually set up Mandalorian season 4. That's why I thought it was going to happen. It didn't happen, but it doesn't have to. I mean, I don't have to be right about stuff. It's Filoni. Filoni knows what he's doing. But when you're doing film stuff, like when you're doing movie stuff, you're doing TV shows, some things are just necessary. When you're trying to do certain things, and you need to have something that a good episode in 6 shouldn't be better than the finale. The finale should have something in it that's like, okay, wow, and it's gonna hook you up for the next season. And it's gonna bring new people in, especially the way Disney set this. Always said this is the thing that's going to save Star Wars, and they didn't give you that. They didn't give you everything at the end. They gave you a great story. Someone who loves Star Wars, someone who likes Rebels, who love Clone Wars. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the journey, but I'm sitting there waiting for. They could have given me 15 more minutes and a lot of my problems go away. They could have figured out 15 more minutes, gave us you a little bit more, finished off an arc instead of letting the arc just kind of lay there, and then everything kind of goes away. Like, and they didn't do it. And there's a lot of stuff, they're going to turn a lot of people off. And this is not going to be something that's going to be solved right away. Because once again, we're going to have 1, 2, 3 years in between solving these problems. And what happens in those times? You lose people. So for a series that didn't grab everybody, except for hardcore Star Wars fans, that's dangerous. And I don't like that either, because I think this is a great story. He's a great storyteller, and I want people to get on board. And if you didn't do a finale or any of that stuff, maybe you should just brought everyone together. Try to bring people together, and I don't think any of those things were accomplished. So those are just my negatives for that.
I agree. JG,
2179ers, let's go.
Yes.
This series should have been called Rebels Season 5.
Yeah,
because calling it Ahsoka, I'm expecting to see just heavily focus on Ahsoka. It felt a lot of times like the Sabine show a lot of times, and it's okay. But that's what it kind of felt like. She was kind of in the way a lot of times of what could have been. So, and most of my negatives are centered around Sabine. All right. When they are going towards the ship, Ezra trying to open the door, Ahsoka trying to open the door. Ahsoka says, Sabine, help Ezra out. How did she know she could freaking open that door? What help she could be to open that door? Now, I just didn't get that. It just made so they get on the ship, and like Enzo said, the zombie whatever, you're a zombie. You get knocked out, they should get right back up and keep on coming. No, you slice them, shoot them, they're down like a regular person. No, they're zombies. Unless their head chopped off, even their head chopped off, let the night witch whatever
bodies move around.
Flangle around, do something. I thought that was a missed opportunity. Although I did like the lightsaber fights, when they're trying to like the blaster deflections, it seemed like they were like, okay, just wiggle lightsabers around and just let it bounce off. Right? We'll do CGI, just let it bounce off. Because it felt like they were tired of twirling the lightsabers around at one point. I kind of went a little too fast, but Ezra on the ship building that lightsaber. I'm sorry, I didn't like it because it felt like a plot device in source. Because the episode prior, when Sabine tries to hand him his lightsaber, I don't need it. The Force will be my ally. But then you get on ship and you want to build a lightsaber all of a sudden. Like your freaking lightsaber's right there the whole time. Now why are you building one? So it felt like it was setting up for Sabine to come out being that Jedi like they're claiming her to be. So
Makes
fast
sense.
forward again, we're on a ship. And Sabine's getting choked out. Now I agree with Daddy. Under distress, sometimes you're able to do things, powers come about that wouldn't happen on a normal circumstance. But Sabine has been in distress this whole series. This entire
She
series.
ain't been like that.
Now,
She got stabbed by Shin. And gets pops right back.
Yeah, but she had the thing was in her hand. She was knocked out and then she was immediately stabbed. You can't grab it when you get stabbed.
Okay, well, it is what it is. But yeah, that's a good point. Touche. I would have much rather, I know the zombie things can't really talk, but I would have much rather her getting choked out and the guy saying, "You are no Jedi," and she goes, "No, but I'm a Mandalorian." Use some tool to grab the lightsaber or something, and then stabs him with it. I would have much rather that. I wouldn't want to be showing any Jedi stuff until maybe another movie she's gonna be in, or a show. Maybe, give me something to look forward to. Now that I felt like she's a watered down Rey in a way.
Yeah.
A watered down version of Rey. But see, with Rey, you can argue that Kylo awakened her powers when she was in the chair and all that stuff. But this one, it just comes about. And as soon as she gets a lightsaber, she can do all kind of shit now. Right? Like Ezra jumping off the platform. He's kind of in a free fall. It's subtle, but he's in one, and she has enough power to it takes concentration to do all this stuff. You get just go up and just bam, I'm flipping you back. I'm just not a fan of that. Ezra gets on the ship, and this is another thing I didn't like. The sister witches, whatever they're called. You sense that Morgan is dead, but you don't sense that Ezra jumped out on the ship.
Yeah. I agree with that.
That's great.
You don't sense that at all.
Yeah, because he gets all the way back and then puts on the stormtrooper gear, leaves in the ship, and like they don't know this.
But see, him putting on the stormtrooper mask, just like on The Walking Dead, don't they put the guts and stuff on the people that hides them from the walkers?
Yeah, but
two different shows, though, man. I see where you're going.
I ain't saying I believe it. I ain't saying I don't like it. I'm kind of being kind of smart, but about it.
Well,
I'm just saying maybe that's what they're trying to do.
Well,
too. Those are the guts for them.
I could have used a 5. Okay, so talk about 5-second clips and stuff. I could have used a 5-second clip showing a shuttle leaving the ship before it gets to Dathomir, and then a quick cut to Thrawn saying, they look at him and say, "Sir, what do you want to do to the shuttle?" It says, "It doesn't matter. That's not our plan anymore," or something like that, just to say, "Okay, I don't care anymore. I'm back. My focus is on something else." Something. It's just that, he goes all the way back to the New Republic, and it's like, "Hey, here I am."
We're gonna find out that Thrawn let him leave.
Well, I don't doubt that.
Go ahead.
Thrawn let him leave. Go ahead.
That's why part of me, like I said last week, it's something about Ezra and just letting him. You don't detect him on a you don't know where he is on the planet, but everybody else can find him. Right? It's something more to it. I'm hoping Filoni's keeping something in the bag. Right? I just don't get it. But you find a rebel fleet. You don't take off your helmet before you get off the ship. You can clearly see out the window and everybody else. But you walk out with your stormtrooper uniform. Has anybody just seen The Pianist, that movie?
Yeah.
Where he walks out with that little German outfit on.
Yeah.
And he gets shot at and he's like, "Why the fucking coat?" Right? That's what I'm like. Why are you walking out with your headgear and everything going? Take the freaking helmet off before you get on so you don't get shot. It's just, oh my God.
Because that's not Star Wars. You want to make it. I mean, we all knew who it was. We all knew what was going on. But they want to make it act like, oh, it could be, something else. It's like, no.
I wish someone would have shot and hit him. You know what I mean? It's like,
all he shot at him and bounced like, no, don't shoot, don't shoot. Then take off him, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm
no.
Yeah. They just allowed a stormtrooper to get off the ship like he's like they no.
Yeah.
I would have shot his ass, but
Oh yeah.
I think they wasted Ray Stevens Balin. God rest his
Yeah.
soul. I would have. Yes, I know some would say cliffhanger, some would say hook, and you got the son and the father right there on the statues. Great monument, great thing to see. But this whole time he's searching for something, we still don't know what he's searching for.
Can you
Again,
imagine
maybe
if they
Filoni-
panned out and see what he was pointing, the
Wait,
father was
wait,
pointing
wait,
to,
wait.
and you saw like a thing that's like you could see there's eye block or something like that. Can you imagine?
Yes.
Well, people would have lost their damn minds. Everything with Balin would have been cool because they would have said,
Yeah.
"What the fuck?" It
Yes,
would have
that
blown
would-
everyone's
Hey,
mind.
JG.
Yeah.
Hey, JG, are you suggesting that he still hasn't found what he's looking for?
He probably has in his eyes, but we haven't seen it yet. And that's the problem. And I understand like this is if you're a casual fan or just whatever, you're not gonna understand what's going on.
Absolutely.
But the Star Wars fans are divided as it is right now. So you're
Mhm.
still gonna have Star Wars fans
Oh
that
yeah.
love Star Wars, some gonna love it, some are gonna hate it. And you have the casual fans. I know you're not gonna please everybody, but you also have to try to please these casual fans too, because they help these numbers go up.
I got a question before because I know Donnie got to leave soon. So I'll let him give his predictions and everything next. But I got a question. Is there anything that Disney can do that will unite the fandom?
Get rid of Kathleen Kennedy.
But even if they do that,
I
and
don't know.
they're still gonna blame Filoni, you know what I mean? Like,
They
is
can
there
identify
anything?
all these haters and send somebody there and take them out.
That's the only thing they can force choke everyone who hates. That's all.
Mhm. So I
Because
still
I
feel
don't think if you give us like the best Star Wars, I still think these people are gonna hate on it. They're
They
gonna
are.
find
Yeah.
something
Uh,
stupid or something
George
to
Lucas could
complain
go
about.
back, could come back himself and direct his best one ever, and they'll still say something.
Oh yeah,
Right.
the prequels. They
It's
got on
not.
him about the
It's
prequels.
not my Star Wars. How can it? No, it ain't yours because it come out of his mind. So if he think of it and create it, it ain't gonna be yours.
well,
Duh.
that was my biggest problem. That was my biggest problem with the Not My Luke. I mean, I understand the idea.
Oh, Chris
The
just
idea.
got cut off.
At the same time,
Oh, there he is.
I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
you're supposed to go with the you're supposed to go with the you're supposed to go with it and watch the film and see how they progress it. And basically it was the fandom itself that basically made them do a complete 180, which going back to things like DC and stuff is exactly why DC can't get on the same track.
Absolutely. Hold on, Chris. I know Danny got a bounce. So Danny, your grade predictions and then go do your thing.
It's definitely gonna be a season 2. I'm ready to see it. I give this a B plus. Only because I didn't like the Sabine aspect of it. I didn't like the zombie, so I can't give it an A. But I will give it a B plus.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And overall, the whole that was for the episode. For the whole series, it didn't stick the landing. Like I'll give it a B plus for both because it did stick the landing. Like I didn't like those two aspects of it, so I can't give it an A. As much as I like it, I can't give it an A.
Yeah.
What's up, Murder Hornet? Yeah, hey, B plus is still a good rating, right?
It
like
is.
we sat here, and I don't think other than Warren, anybody really gave an episode less than a B, right? So well, it's a good for the series, man, and I think it's a good start for Star Wars. Well, it's not a start, but
a restart.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Go ahead, fellas.
Redirection.
I'll see y'all next week on Loki. Which
All
is
right.
that
All
episode
right,
a C minus, big time.
Peace out, Danny. Chris, you're up now.
Yeah. Well, actually,
Actually, hold on. Warren didn't.
No, Warren never went.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I thought. Warren needs to give his negatives.
Well, I mean, JG did. So Brian did a JG, and now JG is doing the same thing because I had a lot of points that he take. The only thing I guess I can add is that why didn't they show Ezra coming off the ship, getting through that? That's like that harbors on to Brian's point about the 15 minutes, like that's another 5 minutes they could have shown Ezra getting off the ship, et cetera, there. I guess you could say I didn't like the whole. I thought Shin was gonna go, but I mean, it's just gonna be a weird dynamic now because it's not the same actor. So that's a con for me in a sense because I know probably that actress and Ray Stevenson probably had a good synergy, so that's gonna be very weird. Overall, I don't know. This I thought I was watching an episode. That's the biggest con for me. This wasn't a finale. I mean, I could say everything. This was episode 8. This wasn't season finale 8. So that's my biggest ones. Oh, and I don't like this whole mini. When I saw, this is my last part. When I saw Sabine. Oh, she's been the most annoying person in this show.
In the whole series, yeah.
She's Iris. She's Iris of Flash series.
She is
Iris
West Allen.
Hey, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
I like the actress. I think she's good.
She can be fine and
she's
still
fine.
be annoying.
I'm talking about the character. I'm talking about the character, not the woman that plays her. I'm talking about the character. So that's my I didn't like that they literally did a She-Hulk where, in the sense, oh man, you can wield a lightsaber, you can deflect everything now. You have the Force, so like basically you just find I don't know if you guys remember those books back in the day, like 101 for Dummies. She just 101 for Dummies, and now she's Mini Ray 2.0. So that's all my cons. Yeah, that's it. I mean, you guys hit them all, so there's not much to really go on.
Gotcha.
I got you. Hey, Chill, you're in the chat there. You want to come on and say what you thought about this episode? Let me know if you do. I'll send you the link. Chris.
Yes.
Chris is not there. All right, Brian, go on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Chris.
Okay, I'm sorry. So my overall and for this episode, I'm going to agree with Danny. It's basically B+ across the board on both. I still totally, and you see, I took film appreciation class and film construction class and all of that. I mean, I took all of that, and there's nothing that this goes against any theory. It's just when you make a series, you decide how you do things. So MASH never necessarily answered a question that was in there. Sometimes it crosses over. NCIS does it between seasons. Sometimes it just stops and you're like, okay, what's going to happen next? This does exactly what some finales do. It's not necessarily what you guys wanted. I don't think it needs any finality in anything. It has progressed it.
They don't call it a finale.
Changed.
No,
that's what it is, because that's what
it's
it
not.
doesn't matter.
As I said, Attack on Titan.
No,
season 1, episode 6, and season 1, episode 7, 2 years apart.
No,
do it.
No, because they do it all the time. There are series finales and there are season finales. The season finale is not the finale. It's not going to answer all your questions. It may not answer any questions.
But you didn't answer any questions.
It may not.
Supposed to answer some questions.
It doesn't have to.
It's an arc.
It transforms and moves the plot forward. In this case, it changed the predicament. It showed some things. So you say it didn't answer anything. It did show, and you were right, and we agreed on this. It did show Balin, and he is now in front of this, and it's like, this is obviously what he was looking for. So it may not have answered things exactly the way you wanted to, but there is some answers there. There are some things going on. I think you guys had, and here's the thing, and I said it at the beginning, is I believe with the past of Disney and Marvel series and the inability to wrap up things satisfactorily, they looked at this and said, how do we wrap up this season and yet not force anything? And they did exactly that. They took a lesser approach. What is it? They didn't fear an injury because they thought it was going to cause great harm to them. They said, okay, we're going to take the hit for not doing what people want us to do because we know we can't do it effectively. But I think that actually says a lot more for it than trying to rush through all of that and get it done.
So here's the
you're
thing,
taking all in instead of some. We're not saying we need everything to be tied up. No one here said anything like that. Everything needs to be tied up.
I just told you, you did get an answer to one thing. You got an answer to at least one thing.
You didn't. If you would gave me 2 more minutes and said, okay, this is what he's looking at. We know what's going on. Give me something. That would have been something. Like you literally have almost did something and then don't. Like that's what you have to have.
Right, and
we will agree to disagree on this.
Hold on, Chris, because I'm a little bit with Brian on this. Here's a little things that they could have done to make it a little bit more interesting. When they showed that fucking Balin at the statues, maybe he hears a voice. Balin calls his name. Boom. Oh shit. Okay. Now we speculate who that voice is. Right? When they're going to Dathomir, right? Show us what's in one of those coffins. Boom. Oh shit, they're the dead stormtrooper zombies. Okay, now we got something else. They could have did just simple things like that would have made it a little bit better. They didn't have to give us complete answers, but they could have
finished the arc. You started something and they would have finished the arc. We know what this is. We know what it is. Exactly. But you're not doing anything else. Like it's just it becomes a weak finale. That's just what it becomes. It's not a weak episode, it becomes a weak finale. Like, as far as the episode, I love the episode.
I don't necessarily, like I said, I'm going to agree to disagree with you guys because I don't believe that that's the case in this. But
I got you.
You don't have to do those things, but it is what it is.
You got time, Chris? Got a little bit more time?
Yeah, I'm waiting on my ride.
Cool.
All right.
Or I'm waiting on the guy. So.
Let's hear what Chill has to say. Chill, thank you for joining us.
I am very much in line. What's all going on, Chris?
He is very much like Chris. Yeah.
Yeah, but like we while there are some problems or like the lightsaber fighting could have been improved and it was like average lightsaber fighting. You would want them in 2023 to have remembered what happened in the past and improved on it, but they didn't. They just gave you still better than some of that hacking that I remember from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
All right,
wait,
but
what?
like I'm sorry, man.
I thought you were going to say the sequel. No. We will not have no return. We will have no.
He's right. They're hacking an Empire too.
Listen, Warren. I'll kick your ass off in a minute.
While there was problems, while they could have done more, we also know that they are storytelling in other avenues. We got to remove ourselves from what the names of these shows are. Yeah, it's called Ahsoka, but it felt like it was the Rebel story. They should have called it Rebels. Fine, that's a fair complaint. But who cares what the F it's called? Was it good? Like the finale. Was it finale worthy, as Warren was saying earlier? Of course it wasn't a finale worthy finale kind of. But by regular episode standards, this is pretty good. It was an enjoyable entertainment thing. And I know that Skeleton Crew's coming. And from what I heard from Skeleton Crew, from the synopsis, not from any spoiling leaks. So I'm going to say it. I hope you guys
you're good.
Me. Go ahead.
It was talking about how there's some stranded into the galaxy, in an unknown galaxy that these kids are going to be. Well, is it the unknown galaxy that we know, the main one from Star Wars, or is it galaxy number 2 we just got introduced to? I don't know. Maybe Skeleton Crew will find Ahsoka and Sabine who are lost there. There are other shows where storytelling will continue, and I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's arguing that it was a bad episode. I think we all agree that it's a good episode.
I mean, we all gave it good scores.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not a finale. Just
not a good finale.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. So I want to hear your positives, Chill.
Shin Hati.
Oh.
Great way to close the episode. No, I am joking. I think that they maybe had.
I know it. I tell he's trolling. I know it.
they pulled some scenes. I believe Balin, Skoll, and Shin Hati had more, but they just so much is unknown that they just didn't play those parts.
All right.
You asked me about positives though.
Mhm.
So, like I said, lightsaber fighting wasn't great, but fine. You know, there was a good little steal where she stole the saber from Morgan Elsbeth, and then she
Yeah.
killed her. So that was a
Mhm.
cool moments and stuff. And I was forced to Sabine when she actually got to use the Force, successfully obtained that saber. I said, "Yeah, she did it." I was happy about it.
Oh my god.
She was playing with
Okay.
the cup earlier, and now she got to do
Mhm.
it. And I'm like, boom, we got it. It's like George Lucas says, everyone has the Force. You were talking about that earlier, right?
Yep.
And we got to see that. And now I want a conversation with Ahsoka talking to Sabine. You know, the Jedi would have never took you in, man. They were stuck in their ways. Why we could have had a lot of people in the Jedi Order, but they had to only choose the ones who were high metachlorian. Man, the Jedi, the way they did it, I'm unconventional. I want them to have a line like that. And another
You used too
positive
much emotion right there, buddy.
Yeah. A great positive for Ezra was returning to his roots of stealing the stormtrooper outfit. That was great.
That was good. Yeah.
Now it was negative that he came out. Remember when he actually meets Hera and all the other good guys? Okay, bro. We
That
didn't
was
need you
stupid.
to be all
Yeah.
in the
Yeah, that's
suit
why I
and
said take the helmet
unmasked.
off at least.
Yeah. Mhm. Absolutely. And to be honest with you, once he got away from Thrawn, there's no need for him to be flying the ship wearing the
No.
mask. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, there's
Yeah,
no need for
because
that.
it's not like he's trying to slip past like Imperial defenses and stuff, because there are technically no Imperial defenses. So flying in an unmarked Imperial ship, they would have well, this shows just how inept the New Republic is. He flies all the way through the galaxy, and not one Republic like patrol stops him. This Asian dude was stopping the Mandalorian every 10 episodes. I mean, it's like
Yeah, and they were in the outer rim too. I think isn't the middle rim?
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute.
Exactly. How the hell did he find that ship? That was crazy.
Facts.
Um,
Now, it would have made more sense what Chris said if they had booked up on him and found the ship and said, okay, we'll take you there, whatever. You know what I mean? That would have made more sense. But him finding them, yeah, it was weird. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah.
You were going to say something?
Yeah, so I sent it in the chat there. Now, all I asked, and I mean, I could do this in 16 different ways, but I just asked, what must a season finale do to be a season finale? And it says a season finale may contain a cliffhanger ending to be resolved in the next season. Alternatively, a season finale could bring storylines to a close, going out on a high, and similarly maintaining interest in the series' eventual return. So both are correct. So again, this goes back to my point. It
No one
did
has
what
a
I
problem with a
felt like it could
cliffhanger.
do.
But no one has a problem with a cliffhanger. No one does.
But they were.
No, a
It doesn't have to have
cliffhanger
both.
is a cliffhanger. It's 7 cliffhangers that's the problem.
I think that's fine. Unfortunately, like I said, I made a very clear analogy to something I told you. I hated doing it, but in a way, even George Lucas has called it this. It's a soap opera. A soap opera has so many cliffhangers and so many stupid things going on that when they take their break, there's so many things open-ended that you're going like, well, what the hell? And that's what keeps all the women turning in at 12 noon.
You see, here's my problem, though.
It is similar to that.
Here's my problem, though, and I'm going to say it again. To me, this was not a cliffhanger, right? I think it left stuff open, like we said, to hook you or whatever. But a cliffhanger, to me, is like when you watch Fast X, the way that movie ended, that's a fucking cliffhanger, right?
Well, okay.
But I don't see, I see this more as just leaving things open for them to do in another series, right? Now, had this at end some kind of war about to begin or something like that, but oh shit, that's a cliffhanger. But to me, it didn't feel like a cliffhanger.
How about I give it to you this? These are weak cliffhangers.
No, I ain't calling it a cliffhanger at all.
It's just a weak finale, a great episode. So like once again, so if I'm grading the episode, I'm gonna give you like it's at 88, 89. This is a B+ episode still. Don't get me wrong. But as a cliffhanger, if I'm compared to all the other cliffhangers we got in all Disney Plus, it's just it's not up to snuff. And that's a problem. when you're talking about a series that's supposed to save Star Wars.
I know I know it's hard to understand this. I know it's hard to understand this, but we're both right.
Brilliant. I'm pretty brilliant. I can understand a lot.
And I think
I think that this handles both sides of. I think it didn't do what you guys think a finale should do. I think for me, it did what it did enough. And again, I go back to how many times have we seen Marvel and Star Wars in finales just like start and like then just drop the ball. I'm okay with kicking the ball down and saying, listen, we're not ready to do this yet. Instead of rushing to it.
The ball home. Say, you know what? I'm just gonna take my ball home. I'm going out.
Well, that's fine. I'm okay with them doing that because imagine what would have happened had they tried to finalize.
They could have done those three things and it would have been cool.
Well, yeah, but how many times have they? How many times have they actually succeeded in what we consider acceptable?
Yeah, but it's not about me. Yeah, it's not about me feeling like I wrote it. I want to get exactly what I wrote. No, literally, a finale is what these finales do. You brought up MASH, a show that's not necessarily following the same plot line of an action series. It's not following a same arc. You're bringing up things that don't have arcs that have finales. That's not the same thing. So you're bringing up something that's not the same arcs in MASH. Thing. Yes, there
were lots of arcs in MASH.
TV arcs that they're totally different. You're bringing up something that's not the same thing. It's not.
But now, really, what you're doing is the thing that
it's like this is more like a movie, and you need to have.
And that has always been
you can have
the issue.
What? Chris, what?
Well, why he sounded like a Decepticon. I think
it's always been the issue with Star Wars is that. Or these shows that's always been the issue. They treat them like a movie, then they get to the end, and then they're like, "Oh crap! Wait, we've got to fix this and end it." Well, in this case, I think they took the opposite approach and said, "Wait a minute, we don't have to fix this right now. We don't have to. So we don't have to answer this right now. We can keep moving forward."
The same thing we're saying. It wasn't a finale.
That's okay.
You're saying basically it's not a finale either.
It still is the finale. It's the end of season one. It's a finale. It's not the series finale. It is the season finale. What I'm saying is it is a season finale, not the series finale. It doesn't have to do those things.
It's a series finale, Chris. Not one person says the series finale when everything has to be tied up. We just asked for an arc to be finished. That's all we asked.
That's what you guys walked in with. That's what you guys walked in with. I was okay with this, and I think this still answers it's finale. I mean, it's the finale of this season.
What'd you say, Warren?
I think the example I gave earlier about Game of Thrones, I'm sure there's other series that we can use, but that was the reason I went to Game of Thrones is because we got something answered. We know what's going to happen. We see now the effects because, at the end, how the mother looked all depressed and everything. Like, they thought they were winning. So it's like we got things answered, but now we know shit's going to go down in season 2.
Nothing's wrong with that. Just because there's some open-ended things doesn't mean they didn't close. Ezra was missing. He's back. They closed that. Morgan Elsbeth was the enemy. Killed her. They closed that. It's a season finale.
She was never
ish.
But chill, I'm gonna be honest.
But you're discounting things that you said.
Let me finish.
Hold a second. When I really think about it, this was like the Last Jedi ending. That didn't even feel like an ending when I saw that horrible movie. This I got Last Jedi vibes when I saw this. Like it was like, okay, it ended, but it didn't really end because now we gotta wait for the movie, and this is Last Jedi vibes. I'm not saying I'm comparing.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying Last Jedi vibes. How
I got you.
We didn't really get what I'm not saying that we're supposed to see Balin go like, balls deep fighting Ahsoka, or Shin doing something crazy, or Thrawn like showing that he has a mysticism. No, that's not what we're saying. We're saying, okay, we gave you a survey. Let's say it's a survey of 10 questions, right? Can you at least answer 3 out of the 10? That's not unreasonable to answer 3 of our questions
and open up some new ones.
And
Question number one. Question number one. In this series, are we going to find Ezra? They answered it. Are we going to get
5.
Ezra?
You didn't
Wait,
answer.
hold
it's not
on.
Series finale. It's not season
But
finale.
no. When you start this season, this is one of the answers. This is one of the questions. It does get answered. Another question: is he going to get back? He did. Who's this witch, or who's this person helping Balin? This whatever half night sister creature, whatever the hell. And you answer it, and she dies. There are answers. There are finishes to it.
Okay.
It's not the ones you want.
Here's another one.
It's
Chris.
not the ones you want, but it is answers.
Can Sabine make it as a Jedi? We got an answer to that too.
Okay, I'll give you some questions. What is Balin looking for? We saw statues. That doesn't mean that we're not right. We see the statues, but what is still calling out to him? What is Shin doing now? What is happening now with Ahsoka and
all those questions you're asking don't disprove that questions were answered.
But understand.
It's just more questions you wanted answered.
That question
Chris,
didn't get answered about. Well, 1 second. That question about Balin been saying this since he's been on Peridea. I'm looking for something. Yet all we got was 3 statues. What was he? What was calling to him?
Have you ever watched Lost? We never knew what the smoke monster was for years.
No, but I'm saying.
And then what happened to the series of Lost? And where did it end up ranking?
Don't you dare bring up Lost.
Brian had a good point.
Brian's point.
Yeah.
If they had like
Lost.
if I'm gonna go on Brian's point, if they had like someone whisper like or something like that, that's enough. You don't
keep
have
coming.
To keep coming up Balin or something. You don't have to show us something, but that's already an answer within 2 seconds.
You see, here's the thing that Lost did well, right? Whether you liked it or not, they would start off a season, you would get answers to the questions in the season, but by the time it's over, you would get more questions. Right? So that's what they should do. You should have answered the questions that we needed to be answered and then added new questions to it going on to the next series, right?
Season 1 that a lot. Lost season 1 made you ask what's in the hatch, and the way that they ended it was looking inside the hatch. Warren says, why didn't somebody speak from the hatch and say, hey, who's up there? That's what Warren would tell you.
No, that's not the same.
That's not the same, man.
What Warren said is, hey, you've had 2 characters that have been in every episode since the beginning, and they're essential to the entire episode, and give me more than a minute to figure out what the hell's going on, what's going in this episode. That's what Warren is saying. He's not saying
does Ray Stevenson's death have anything to do with everything with the character? Yes. That was not what was intended back when they were writing the show. They changed it. I'm sure they changed it with Ray Stevenson.
Hold on 1 second.
He died like
Chris?
Yeah, I gotta run.
Give us your grades and predictions, whatever, and then shout out your channel.
I already did B+, and yeah, and like I said, I mean, I think they did what they needed to do with this, and they took a bold move to not just try to finish way too much or answer too much and give us subpar answers. So I think they actually showed some good judgment by doing that, because I'm still not believing that anybody in Marvel or Star Wars right now can write a good finale, because they always wait till the last second. So at least this time they said, you know what, we keep hearing we can't do this, so let's just not try to overdo it. And so anyways, like I said, that's what I'm okay with that. And the worst part about this is, like you said, Balin's, Ray Stevens, he's gone. And so that is probably the biggest faux pas of all of that. And you never know. You never know if that's going to happen in between movies. And that's the worst part about it. But with that said, guys, I got to get out of here. But, Chaos Central here doing the roundtables. Next week we'll have a Loki roundtable here. I believe tomorrow night we're going to have one of the Chaos Central shows. I will be back to my Unmasking the Masked Singer shorts this week, and looking forward to talking about Loki next week. So, guys, I got to run. Talk to you guys later.
All right, see you, Chris.
And I
Chill.
think
Yeah, go ahead,
I was gonna
JJ.
say to what Brian was saying about these 7, 8, 9, 10 different cliffhangers, if you want to call them that. It's like they're all pointing towards different future projects, right?
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
this cliffhanger's for this project, this cliffhanger's for that project, this
Mm-hmm.
cliffhanger's for that project, but it's not really clear
It's
for the
clear
average
though.
person.
We were
It's
watching the mentioned Thrawn in Mandalorian season 3. So Thrawn is going to be there with Moff Gideon in the council of bad guys. That's where that's headed.
well, like I was
Well,
trying
not
to say,
Moff
for the
Gideon.
average
Moff Gideon's
person,
dead.
it's not clear enough. Right. I'm not
Moff
talking for
Gideon's
the
dead,
hardcore
though.
Star Wars fans who knows
Yeah.
everything. Just for the average fan, wouldn't know is this
It's
too much?
it's about time things were made for us.
Oh,
I
that
don't
is
know.
true.
See, it's
But remember, grand
if
scheme of things, you need everybody.
if we're grading things, I think it's funny because we're all going to have the same type of grade.
Yeah.
That's not what we're saying. I think what it is more that you could give a few things to do something very similar, but still get finale to an arc that you started. And you
Exactly.
did not give finale. You don't have to answer every question. Just finish an arc. Like, okay, we've been asking this question all season, and this is where we're going. Instead of leaving everything open ended, I don't. And because even Chris said they left everything open ended, and because they did it on purpose. But you can set up a movie, you can set up the acolytes, you can set up the skeleton crew. I mean, you can do a lot of those things, but still having a few of these arcs kind of understand where we're going. And I don't think it takes a lot. I think main characters need to have some answers what's going on in the last episode. And if it wasn't a finale, this would be a great episode. That's all. That's
And like I said earlier, like the Balin thing, just give us a voice. Like he said, he hears something calling his name. Let's hear that voice call his name, Balin,
it's
and
a
then we can
callback to where
assume,
you got from the
oh
beginning.
shit, okay, yeah, okay, that's good. All right, so now we can speculate on, okay, so are they calling him to do this and that? You know what I mean? But like Warren said, even though we know he's looking for a higher power, we still don't know what his goal is. You know what I mean? He's going to kill the people that's calling him to get that power. Is he going to be trained by them or whatever? So we don't know none of that. You know what I mean? And at least give us something to where, okay, it didn't finish it, but at least we have something moving forward to the next season or whatever they're gonna do or whenever they're gonna continue it. That's all I'm saying. Like episode was good. I enjoyed it. Again, I mean, I did, but at the end of the day, I just thought you could have done a lot more. That's my opinion.
I
Did you
would
have
much
any?
rather.
Yeah, go ahead, JJ.
I can say one more thing. I would have much rather Balin been on that mountain with the father and the son statue early in the beginning of the intro,
I
and
know.
at the end, he's where he needs to be. And
Nah.
then maybe a voice, shadow, something to bring out a little more excitement.
Now, because if you showed that earlier, we'd be wondering to get more from it.
Why
really
the hell
early.
didn't you do this begin at the end? Yeah. I think that he's right. You're right. But we've been sitting waiting, looking for like, why the hell didn't you show this at the end? But I do think a whisper would have a lot of finality to what we're doing because it's a callback to what we heard in episode 2 and 3. It calls back and finishes what was going on, what's still pushing forward. It's not like giving us anything more. It's still, but it finished that arc.
Yeah, I agree.
I just watched the first.
Go ahead.
Watched the first Mortis episode where the father talks to Anakin. Hey, you're the chosen one, and I'm getting a little weak. Can't keep the balance. I'm gonna need you to replace me. Maybe he does. Maybe Anakin is successfully the father, and he can balance them even from the death. Maybe he's not really dead. Maybe he has so much power that he can watch. He can join the living and the dead. I don't know. I'm just speculating that. But I watched the Mortis arc, and damn, it's so valuable to all of this, to the end of Rebels. And it's surprisingly how deep into this they're going. And I might have to speculate that George Lucas asked Dave Filoni to further that story plot.
There was a leak where Anakin was calling out to Balin. I did see that one leak.
100%. I think, and we all said this, right? I don't believe that Dave Filoni is just running around doing his own thing and not asking George Lucas, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? George Lucas said, yeah, that's good, but maybe you should try it this way, that way. Yeah, that works. I promise you that's what he's doing. 100%. There's no way he's not, right? And especially with how highly he talks about George Lucas, right? Let's not forget, he praises George Lucas constantly. And what really got me with him where I was like on board is when they did the galleries thing, the Star Wars gallery things, and he was on there and he was talking about the duel of the fates and Anakin, and he was breaking it down. And I promise you, he broke that down in a way to I was like, fuck, that makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? And it's he got that from George Lucas himself. So let's not pretend that he's just running around trying to destroy George Lucas's story. It's obvious that he's going to put his own little touches to it, but he still is going to stay as true to Star Wars as possible to honor George Lucas. I don't care what anybody wants to say. He's trying to honor George Lucas, and he
I think
knows.
we're all on board with you too, because I think
Yeah.
exactly what you said echoes all of us. We all think, and, you know, I'm at a point where I will give Filoni all of it.
Yeah.
I really would. I'm okay with it. With guidelines, with someone to help him do certain aspects, because he's never done a film by himself. So
Right.
having a little guidelines, whatever. But I'm willing to let him. If he's already the chief creative officer, that's what he is of all Star Wars. But let him have final say on all creative things. That's where
100%. That's why I say him and Filoni could be the perfect team, right? You can have Filoni make the movies, and he's in charge of everything and the story and what's going on, because we know Filoni, Favreau can make some good movies, right? So you have Favreau there to make the movies, and Filoni's there to give us the story. You know what I mean? And Filoni puts it to screen.
Think about how bad it's.
Favreau.
He gets taken and he's promoted to this new position during that COVID pandemic where everything was locked down and really he hasn't been getting a chance to shoot. Finally, there's a sliver of time. Yes, he gets to execute his plan. And then there's this writer's strike, actor's strike. And he's like, I got to wait now again. Some of these shows that are coming out, like Acolyte, that wasn't his idea. That was decided a long time ago. And Andor season 2. So after this, we're going to feel some full-on Dave Filoni Star Wars by 2024.
I hope you're right, Chill, because I think he can literally save what all of our complaints. He can make Star Wars be what it's supposed to be. He understands it, and just because I'm a fan doesn't mean I need to be in control of everything. But the person who was handpicked by George Lucas that understands what's going on, him being able to do that, I'm 100% for.
Me too, 100%. Chill. Did you have any negatives on this episode?
Yeah, probably did. The lightsaber fighting, I guess, it was part of my positives, but it's also part of my negatives for not being elite. And what else was negative? Sorry, I can't think of negatives. I'll let you guys say that, and I'll fight you when you say something I don't agree with.
I think we all gave our negatives, but I ranted about the zombies. I didn't like the zombies too much.
I wasn't bugged by it. You know what I was bugged by? When they were on the Howlers and they had to make it inside the door. Hurry up, hurry up. There was no suspense, bro. That was a very expensive scene where some things were firing, and I was like, "You guys are gonna make it inside in time, right?" You know, and they did. So
I think the storyline overall was predictable. It was a predictable storyline, and which is fine sometimes.
It's not when it's expensive. It's not fine when it costs so much money.
No,
to show this war scene.
It is predictable though. We do know when everything that was happening was like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. I could see this happening. You know, there was no curveballs. There was no nothing like that. So
even Sabine using the lightsaber, we knew it was going to happen because they teased it with the cup, right? You know what I mean? So we knew at the end of the season. I didn't know if I thought it was going to happen in the last episode, but I knew somewhere between that episode and the end, she was going to use the Force. We knew that, and
I liked it when she did, and I was rooting for her when she finally got to achieve that. I said, whoa, way to go, Sabine. Hip, hip, hooray. That's how. So I'm happy they showed the cups earlier.
Yeah, but I think that wasn't the problem as much as the problem was then pushing Ezra. Like, it's not like someone who learned how to ride a bike and then go ahead and ride a motorcycle. That's the problem.
Yeah. I agree. Do you guys think we'll see more Force ghosts in the future? I think a certain few, right? I don't know what they're gonna do with Balin, but definitely he's gonna become a higher entity. Like he's probably gonna be like we said, the brother or sister. You know what I mean? And he's gonna have some certain powers to maybe he can project himself as a Force ghost while he's alive or something like that.
Wow.
And maybe he'll help Shin in some sort of way after he transcends to whatever he's gonna do. There's a lot of things that I think they can do with that. So It'll be interesting. But yeah, we'll see more Force Ghosts for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
Kenobi,
Alright.
and Anakin and Qui-Gon and Yoda. Those were the only 4 Force Ghosts we've ever gotten. So,
Right.
so I don't want to see another. It would mean
But
that
you can
somebody
still,
thought.
as long as you have Ahsoka, you always could have Anakin. That's just
Yes.
part of
So
it.
yeah, we'll get the Anakin ghost.
Yeah.
Hold on. We seen Luke. You said Luke, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
didn't
said,
say Luke.
and we
Actually.
seen,
I
Yeah,
didn't say
he
Luke.
did say
we
Luke.
seen,
That's right.
we seen Luke, and we seen Leia.
If
as
you
Force
consider
Ghosts.
those movies canon, you're right.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. You're right. Unfortunately, they are as crap as they are canon. But so yeah, we did see them as Force Ghosts as well.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Facts. Yeah, go ahead. Facts.
Do you
We
guys
need a
think?
window.
Do you think that Filoni can save the sequels, the series? Do you think he can do enough for you to say, "All right, I guess it is canon"? Like
He can. It's possible.
They can. They have to have a character that beats the shit out of Rey. I'm sorry. You have no. What? Here's what I mean. You have that because Kylo Ren was not that, man. It was like a brother, sister, sibling. Oh, I like you at the end part. You need a character that like puts Rey in her place, and like she has to like train to the point where this is like the fight of my life, sort of thing. That's what I mean. That's what I mean because I didn't think she got challenged, and her training was lackluster to me. So that's what I mean as that she has to be beaten in order to become a better character or whatever threat they plan to do in the new movies. That threat has to be a little bit more dangerous than between a Sidious and a Vader. That character has to be whomever that person's going to be. Not as good as Sidious, but not better than Vader. They have to be right in the middle.
I still don't know if that saves the sequels.
Neither do I.
Yeah,
Like,
you went a completely different way with that, Warren.
Maybe if you kill Rey off.
I mean, I thought about that, killing Rey off.
Like, okay, yeah, we saved the trilogy. We saved it. You know what I mean?
I think there's too many characters they ruined. There's so many different characters that they really
they ruined Finn. I wanted Finn to. We all thought Finn would use the Force. Nope, they didn't do that. So
they can. Finn, they ruined Luke. They ruined Han. They ruined Leia. They ruined Lando. Like they've ruined all the original characters. They destroyed them. Go ahead, Joe.
The Holdo maneuver was a problem. They can explain why that ship is able to do the light speed into another, and Dave Filoni could write a reason for that. Mm-hmm. Dave Filoni could also write a reason why Luke, when he's a Force ghost, he can interact with the physical with the lightsaber right after Rey threw it. Remember, so there's got to be a reason for why a ghost can do that. Dave Filoni can fix that, because Luke is so advanced in his teachings. And then there's other problems like the First Order.
You know what's funny? Sorry, children, because you talked about the lightsaber and Luke catching it, right? But if you watch Empire Strikes Back, he sits on a log.
You're right that he sits on a log. He's also standing on the ground before he sits on the log, and that has nothing to do with stopping the momentum of an ongoing tangible thing. So when he's presenting himself as a ghost, even he doesn't have to. He can even just use his voice, but he showed himself because that's the way he wanted you to see him. And then Kenobi sits down on the log. If that log cracks or moves, interacts because of the ghost stat on it, then I'm going to say that's a problem. But that's not what happened, and it's not consistent with what the lightsaber catch. You feel me?
Yep.
Yeah, but I noticed. Well, I just think if when they do the Force Ghost, like interacting, because you're still sitting on a log, right? It's a physical thing, and they're not supposed to be really able to.
It looks like he's sitting. He's projecting like he's sitting. He's also projecting like he's standing on the ground. Why didn't you start with that? Why did you have to go sitting with a log? The fact that he's there when he's not really there because he's a ghost, and he walks. I'm sure if he wanted to, he could just float up and be all like that.
Yeah, but these movies also came out fucking 19 whatever, you know what I mean? Maybe George Lucas wasn't thinking about that or some shit, you know what I mean? I'm just saying though, like I'm not personally defending it because I think it was stupid anyways, with him grabbing the lightsaber at the Force Ghost. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying like if you can sit on a log, then you may be able to, do something
Did you hear what I said though? I just disproved that. That was the log thing is just whatever. It's how he presents himself. He says Obi-Wan Kenobi, the entity that he is, he says, "Oh, I'm not gonna do the voice. I'm gonna do the one where I come in person. Here I am." And he's standing and he's talking to Luke and Yoda. He was talking to Luke and Yoda. So what if he's standing on the floor and sitting on a log? He's making it look like he is. That's not the same.
Okay,
as
so standing on the floor, yes, but he actually goes and sits down on the freaking log.
Those are the two same things.
He's not making it look like he's sitting on the log. He actually sat on it.
Yeah, he is making it look like he sat on a log.
If the log moves, only.
It didn't move.
Because if the log doesn't move, it's the same as basically being on the ground. Because you're just sitting, you're projecting yourself to look like you're doing something. But if it doesn't physically affect the physical entity, then it's not the same. The whole lightsaber thing is fucked up. I don't know. There's no way to fix. I don't know how you fix that. But that sit on log, I think you can still say.
The problem with the lightsaber is that it's moving. Okay, you can interact with the real world. Oh, come here. We're gonna need you in the final fight. Light up that lightsaber and start fighting. Or same with Yoda, because he used lightning when the tree started burning. They gotta fix that. They gotta make it be like it was a coincidence. Yoda didn't light it up. It was just rainy that day.
Yeah, well, they ain't gonna fix that. That's done.
The answer is always the Force.
The Force. Dave Filoni can redeem the sequels. Anyone can if they really try with novels and different things to explain different things. It is possible.
I just don't know if you
improbable.
With those characters,
I don't think so.
I don't think you can fix all the characters because the character arcs that they were doing for the first one just doesn't match with the second and third movie. The movies don't match. So you can fix the storylines, but you'll never make those important because they're always just disjointed. It's always gonna be a disjointed trilogy that's just not good enough because you couldn't stick with the same storyline. No matter if I like it or not, you should stay with it.
And you end with Rey saying she's a Skywalker. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can say, oh, when the next movie, well, she's not really a Skywalker, but she's a fucking Palpatine and she's running around saying she's a Skywalker. No matter how you try to fix it, it's just going to feel like a retcon. Like, that's going to be a retcon right away. Like, oh, no, she's not a Skywalker anymore. She's running around saying she's a Palpatine. Well, in that movie, she says she's Skywalker. So all
they'll do is they'll to say being a Skywalker is now a level of being a Jedi. That's how they'll fix it. Being a Skywalker is just a level of Jedi. It's the top level of Jedi. It's a Skywalker.
Right above Master.
Exactly.
Oh shit! All right, so let me get grades up in here. I think JG and Warren didn't give theirs, and then I'll get Chillmonger. Warren.
This overall, I'm gonna give it I'm gonna have to give it a B minus, unfortunately, because I didn't get closure. Sorry to sound like a broken X or something like that. I didn't get.
What up, Mike? By the way.
Overall, I think it was a good step in the right direction. I think the characters they introduced were new. There was a lot of discussions, even from Marok to Balin to Shin. So we got conversations stirring, which is a good thing. No one had questions for the next episode, so they're on to something there. The only, I guess, thing I'd like to see is more. The only thing that is, I guess, I'm sad about is, again, the Ray Stevenson thing. I think the guy played the character well for a new character, and especially in a TV series, which we know is going to get, which is very popular, Star Wars. So, you already got that monkey on your back, and I think he pulled that out the park. So that's the sad part. But overall, I think this is a good direction. It makes me excited for Skeleton Crew, because that apparently they're going to be in the unknown regions as well. So. Yeah, let's see where they keep going, but B minus for me overall.
I got you.
Is that for the series too? Is that for the series? Or just
for the episode, a B minus. For the series, a B plus. I can't go higher than that.
Okay. His female agent victims wouldn't let him watch it uninterrupted. JG.
I'll mirror what Warren said with the scores. B minus for the episode, B plus for the series. I think it is a good step in the right direction, but that will be all be seen in the next upcoming projects. Like I said, there's a lot of threads going to different projects with this series, and so Skeleton Key, Acolyte, the movie, all this stuff is upcoming. I really think if Kathleen Kennedy gets out the way a little more, Filoni could do a lot more. I think Filoni's doing his own thing, but he has to adhere for what Kennedy wants to do as well, which is that female empowerment, which is nothing wrong with it. I'm all down for, like, Tomb Raider, all that stuff. Loved it. Female led. I love it. But I also think that they're trying to showcase things that we hadn't seen in previous Star Wars films and shows. And it just so happens that the women are the ones doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So that may be an issue for a lot of people. But hey, it is what it is.
And I'm happy Acolyte is one of those shows where you can burn all of your women. That's not what I meant.
Whoa.
Burn all your women. Yeah.
That is not what you mean.
You can check it off of your "Are we satisfying our woman quota?" Look, yeah. Go do the Acolyte show over there. It happens 200 years before anything that matters. Yeah, go ahead. And I might not even watch that show. I'll watch episode 1. My grade.
Mm-hmm.
This was an A-, and it could have gotten higher if these runtime of the episodes were longer. I would say A. Even if the finale was a hit, I would go up to A+. So
the
finale is a B.
I got you. You gave yours, Brian?
No, I mean, I said finale B, series B+. Overall, 4, 5, and 6 are the best things I've ever seen in Star Wars. Like, anything on Disney Plus, I've never seen anything that good. It's not a movie. I'm talking about TV show stuff right now. Disney Plus stuff. I'm not saying movie because come on, Empire Strikes Back. So let's not get that. Even start that. But it is the best thing they've done. It felt right. It felt like Star Wars again. It brought it back. Oh my goodness, I'm not even going to read that. But no, I almost a B+, A-. I'm giving like an 88, 89. This is really, really good. And if they would have really stuck this landing or gave me a few extra minutes on that finale, I think they could have fixed the finale, and this would have been easy A for me. I really liked it. I really did.
I agree with you 100%. I'm going to give this episode a B-. Like I said, there were a lot of things in it that I think they could have did a little bit differently. It's not a bad episode at all. For the series, I'm going to give it a B+ because I really enjoyed the series. For me, and I said it before the series started, I said if Ahsoka is garbage, I am done with Disney Star Wars. Thank God it wasn't garbage. Thank God, because it's hard for me to be like, oh man, they got something Star Wars coming on, I can't watch it because I'm done with it. You know what I mean? And then, so I want to be able to say, yeah, I can finally, I feel like Star Wars is on the right path. Am I extremely excited like Danny is for what's coming up next? Not necessarily, but I am still on the verge of where you keep building, right? This was good. The next one has to be a banger. The next one has to be a banger, right? All up until Era of the Empire. Then that comes out and it's a banger. I'm like, Star Wars is back. Yes, baby. This is what I'm talking about, And I think Ahsoka felt more like George Lucas's Star Wars than anything else they did on Disney Plus and in the movies. It just felt like, even down to some of the music, felt like Star Wars music, I didn't think the music in Boba Fett or even Obi-Wan was a little Star Warsy, but not as much. But I think when it comes to the music, I think this one gave me the best. Like, oh, that really feels like Star Wars music. Except for the rock part, the rock song where Sabine is on the motorcycle in the first episode. That was jarring to me. But other than that, I did enjoy it. Banger after banger after banger. Yes, Mike, that is correct. Because they have disappointed me for so long that I need a few bangers in a row. Like Acolyte doesn't have to knock it out the park. Ahsoka was the only one that needed to knock it out the park for me. The rest of them just need to be good, right? And if they're good, I'll be like, okay, I'm back on board. Star Wars.
Don't expect anything from Acolyte. This is not a Dave Filoni green light. This is just some random things that are by these random creatives. I barely consider it canon. I'm just gonna see it and not care.
You see, the thing that has me about it is I see some of the fightings in the trailer, and I'm like, it looks kind of cool. You know what I mean? So I'm like, if you can give me, because in some way it's going to be connected. characters in some way. Acolyte is going to be connected to what we're seeing right now. I don't know how yet, but it will be.
They're gonna
right?
give
What
Yoda a
about-
girlfriend.
They're either the beginning or ending is going to have something to do with probably with Mortis or something like that. Something's going to happen like that. It's going to be some type of connection.
Right. It doesn't have to be anything big, right? It could be just something like towards the end of the series to where it's okay, so this is where we're going, right? It could be a totally like series that you can watch on its own, but when you get to the end, it's like, oh, okay, so there's the little connection there, right? Because how many Marvel movies did we watch and it was like, how does this connect to what we're seeing, right? Especially in phase 5, like, or phase 4, sorry. There was a lot of movies where it's like, where's the connection there? You know what I mean? So I think they can do it with just a little 1-2 scenes there. So I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to more Star Wars stuff. I just wanted to ask you real quick, Brian. Did you like Loki season 1, episode 1?
Season 2, episode 1.
Yeah, season 2, episode 1. That's it.
I did like it. I'm sorry. I did.
Yeah, I
like
loved
it.
it.
I like.
it too.
I enjoyed Loki overall. Like, so season 1 is one of my favorite things that I've watched. It's the finale. That's a finale to me.
Yes.
That's a finale.
yeah.
Like what they did in that finale, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And then season 2, it was a little slow, but I still really enjoyed it.
I did too.
That makes
The
sense.
only issue I had with this episode is that we had a whole episode of him trying to like stop from time skipping, right? But
Mhm.
it didn't progress the story along. That was the problem that I had with it.
I-
And I have a
agree.
feeling that hopefully, like, they know where they're going, and it's not just going to be a collection of certain things happening that leads up to it. You know what I mean? That's what I
Yep.
had an issue with. I'm like, you know what I mean? Because I think you could have did that in like half of a show and then give us another
They
one,
kept it going
or
more.
give us more episodes, right? Instead of 8, I think there's 8. Instead of 8, give us 10, right? Then you could do stuff like that, right? But when it's short like this, you got to get to the point, and then I think the next episode is going to be some Sylvie bullshit, which is probably going to piss me off if they do that. Because I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing in the second episode. So the first episode had nothing to do with really the overall story, and then the second episode has nothing to do with the overall story. If they do that, it'll be a little bit disappointing. But I did enjoy the first episode. What about you guys? Did you guys like it too?
Oh yeah, I
Yep.
loved it. I enjoyed it.
Chill didn't watch it.
Didn't start it. It's
I
Marvel.
didn't start it yet, actually.
Exactly.
I will
And,
start it
Jay-
because I enjoyed Loki. I think it's the best Marvel's show still.
Yeah, I agree too.
Okay, I gotta get rid of these two right now. Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Okay,
Woo!
that is the best. We are all brothers on this panel. You gotta know that it's Falcon and Winter Soldier.
It's because I'm black. That's the only reason. But like, if I'm saying for everybody, as a black man, I was sitting there like, yeah, let's go. But it's for everybody else, guys. I have to acknowledge there's other people in the world that are not black. So just I have to acknowledge that. That's all.
Chill loves the multiverse.
Nope. A multiverse is a good way for me to check out. Oh, there's something happening here, and nothing here affects anything in the real world, and there's other characters who are we're not going to visit again next time. Oh, interesting. I'm checking out.
Yeah, we already know how you feel about that. All right, guys, it was a great show. I thank you guys for coming in. Look, Perp coming in at the end. Solid first episode, but I don't trust them to execute it right. Majors will be the highlight, though. Yeah, but I heard he's not going to be a huge role in it. A lot of people are expecting him to be huge in it, and from what I heard, it's not going to be huge. We're going to probably have that Victor Timely stuff, and that's going to be it, right? Where it goes there. It may lead up to other stuff, but don't expect to see him like in a majority of this season. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see. Chill, shout out your channel. Let the people know where they can find you, sir.
Chillmonger. I be from the north. 33 questions. You got no other choice. And look out for a T'Challa Black Panther #5 comic book review.
Absolutely. Brian, where can they find you, sir?
Yeah, exactly. I'm Brian the Grizzly. I'm 1/3 of Spoiler Kings. We do all type of stuff. We do movies, TV shows, comic books. I love it all. Anything nerdy, I'm all for it. But I will say this: we need to recast Balin, just like we need to recast. Wait a minute! Don't cut me off. T'Challa.
Don't worry. I'm here. I'm here for you.
I was about to. I was gonna, when you guys pull up your comments, I gotta get the little clip from Revenge of the Nerds. Nerds! Nerds! You guys pull up the comment, Nerds! Warren, where can they find you?
So I just want to let you know I am the amazing, the astounding, the fantastic, the glorious, enigmatic.
Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. That's it.
JG.
Yo, you can find me Wednesday nights on the OOC with the Great Onzo and the Great Roberto. I'm not going to finish that one. And you can also find me Thursday nights with my homie Superwise with the Loki Season 2 watch party. Find me also next Sunday for the Roundtable for Loki Season 2. And can I just say 2018 Niners, let's go.
And I was going to say, I wanted you to say it this time. Go ahead. Give it up. Go ahead. Do it.
Also, well, damn, I lost train. Okay. The amazing, the outstanding, the superstar himself, always man of the hour, Danny, a.k.a. the Road to Wisdom, a.k.a. you can hate him now, but he won't stop now because he can't stop now.
I'm too old for this shit.
Oh, let me change that. 35-10. Let's go, Niners.
Oh, man, you still talking about this goddamn game?
You just mad you didn't get CMC when you had the chance.
I was hoping the Cowboys would have won, but whatever. Hey, before I go, because you guys didn't respond to it, right? And unfortunately, the Bears did end up winning last week. But you didn't see the comment that I put on there about you guys Bears? You didn't see it?
Hey, it didn't matter. When we won, I was so ecstatic. You couldn't do nothing to me. It didn't matter. Oh my God. I was like, we to the moon. 500. Let's go.
So we do a pool, right, where we pick all the games during the week. And as we're picking the games, I was like, everybody's picking Washington. And I'm like, I'm going to reluctantly take Washington. I was like, if it's any fucking game that Washington is going to lose or any game that the Bears could win, it's this one. And sure enough, the Bears won it. So.
And we win. Yeah, that's all right, guys. We good.
They can find Warren creeping around Chinese restaurants looking for his next victim. Oh, man. Thank you, guys. Hey, Mike, thanks for coming in. Mike, I sent you a little message there. Let me know if you want to come in or not. There's a war in
Palestine.
Israel going on.
Use
Yeah,
the
I
wrong
know.
word.
Yeah, I know. I don't know enough about it or what's going on. I just seen like this and that, so I'm gonna have to do some research. Maybe it'll be an OOC topic one of these weeks. We'll see. I just find like everybody is going to war now, bro. I did.
I think the topic is the news coverage happening now shows you as if it just started. But if you paid attention to the last few years, you would have seen all the oppression happening prior. So when you think, oh my God, they're attacking, what's going on here? They're innocent people. You're like, I'm like, what? You guys never reported what happened like when people were worshiping in the middle of the night and they ran in and they all like fired off and they occupied their land, and there's so much that's happening.
It's a small ticker that tells you what happened. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, during this great festival of people people doing things, they're going to kick out all the Palestinian people while they're doing this celebrating. Stuff like that happened. So like, I'm not saying who's good, who's right or wrong, but they only give you.
I'm saying who's right or wrong. I'm definitely saying that the Palestinians are correct here and are being oppressed by the Israelis and everyone who funds them and supports them, including Mickey Arison of the Miami Heat. Did you see him post that?
Oh man,
yeah.
What did he post? I didn't see.
I support Israel. One of those things, like the Miami Heat official tweet said that, and like, bro, you're a basketball squad. We do not need to know who you support in what, you know.
And my heart goes out to the young lady that was killed on that back of the truck or whatever.
No, look, innocent people dying isn't okay, and that's people who don't pick up weapons to fight isn't okay. But it's still an occupied land of people who say, "Oh, you know what? We live here now. Let's take your homes. Let's like what?" So
was America.
Anyways,
hey, happy Columbus Day tomorrow, guys.
I know one of my best friends son is Marines. He's going over there.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, he's
Well,
got
we'll
all
pray
the-
for him.
he's- Yeah.
They're drafting.
Yeah.
They're drafting.
hmm
Ooh.
The separatists
like I
are
was-
the bad guys, Mike.
And like I said, I don't know, like I haven't educated myself enough on it, but like I said, chill, you are right. This has been going on for years. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I have a friend who was from Lebanon. He would tell me all the time, like they don't report it all the time that stuff goes on, but it's all the time. Like let's not pretend like it stops and then starts back. No, it's constant, right? There may be a little bit break here or there, but they are constantly at war in these countries.
That's only if you're talking about the fighting. Let's not also include the water and the power, electricity that is being controlled of
Yes.
who can get it and
Yeah.
where they can get it. That's not okay.
Mhm.
Like these are not two countries. This is oppression, occupation.
Absolutely,
It's occupation.
100%. With that being said, guys, it was a great show. We will be doing the Loki roundtable at this time. It'll be 8 o'clock. Loki roundtable, yeah. It'll be 8 o'clock. EST. Chaos Central. Chris Knight will be handling it. You'll see some of the same people on this panel over there, and it'll be an interesting show. With that being said, guys, peace, love, and hair grease, and make sure to check us out. Everybody on the panel, they're all in the description. So everybody that's on the panel, make sure you check them out, what they're doing. Always do some great stuff. They got memberships, join the memberships. You know what I mean? It's always good to support. That being said, peace, love, and hair grease. See you on the next one.
I am inevitable.
The bad guys here are Mike, are Warren, Ryan, and Chimaera.
The bad guy is the Frenchman, the Quebecer.
I tried to mute him before he could get that out there. I don't know. He's trying to really talk to people. What are you like? Right? Anybody can Thrawn. Thrawn was no.